Atlantic City, a classic tournament returns, where there is history in the making and millions on the line. Tonight on the WPT.
Well, these are the 6 guys left fighting it out for this title. Our chip leader, David Paredes, $9.6 million. Anthony Maio in second with $9.4. Jared Jaffee in third. That's what they're playing for, over $842,000.
Andy's at 15,000. The blinds are 50 and 100 at this point. Here we go at the Borgata Poker Classic. Action on Anthony Maio. He's from Philly. He's got ace-10 of spades. He'll raise with that. Makes it 225 to go. Behind him, Anthony Merulla will fold his hand.
David's out as well.
Now around to Farid Jattin. Now he's got king, jack of hearts.
From Miami, originally from Colombia. Vince, if he wins this tournament, he'll be the first Colombian to ever take a WPT title.
He has called it. And now Mezheritsky going out. Jared Jaffee from New York won't play. So we have two-way action, 2 quality hands, and here we go flopping.
Well, only 2 guys in their 20s at this table, and they're playing this pot. Flop ace, queen, queen.
Mayo's checked his aces.
Anthony Maio is a very fast player. Jattin in seat 6 is a very slow player, and they're always been at each other for the speed of their play, especially Maio upset because Jattin takes so long to play.
That is aggravating, which makes the slow player even want to slow down more.
The pace of poker, I like the game to be played at a quicker pace. And people waste time for zero reason and posture. And I feel that's what all he's doing is posturing, acting like he's thinking about the hand and really he's thinking about something else, butterflies.
Already I love this guy, Vince, Anthony Maio.
Your kind of style. Well, Farid will make the bet. He makes it for 245, an insta-call there by Maio with the aces. So going to the turn, will a heart appear? Yes, it does! 8 of hearts. Mayo's going to check it. Farid hitting his flush right there. And he's betting again, 415,000.
And again, a very quick call by Maio.
Maio from Philly. Needs a lot of luck here on the river. Let's see what happens. He's going to get it as a queen hits on the river. Makes his full house.
He is going to bet it.
He plays really fast, man. Like, every decision is like snap, snap, snap. I mean, I really never played with someone like that, you know, but I thought it was really, like, interesting to watch, you know?
Look at this, Farid with a good lay down there.
But Anthony Maio taking down pot number 1, and with it, taking the chip lead.
He's the local, he's the chip leader.
So the speedster is heading the pack right now.
All right, action on Anthony Merulla. Works in finance out of New York. Quick fold by him.
Anthony Merulla, along with David Paredes, who's acting right now, one of 3 guys at this table that have a law degree. 3 lawyers at the final.
Well, Paredes has raised to 225 with a jack-9, a few folds.
Jared Jaffee, the 3rd lawyer at the table. He practiced law for 3 days. Said, I'm giving this up to play poker.
And Maio is going to call it. And the flop comes up, a jack 10-7. They both hit jacks, but 3 diamonds out there.
Yeah, Maio has got him out kicked, as you can see. 2 jacks with the ace kicker.
Maio's checked. Paredes is going to bet 285. Quick call. And here we go to the turn. It's an ace, making 2 pair there for Anthony Maio.
Well, quick bet by him. I don't know how David could go any farther with this hand. His opponent could have a straight, a flush, at worst 2 aces. He is dominated, as you can see.
He doesn't care. He's making this call. 350 call. Down to the river we go.
Has to catch an 8 or a 9 to have the best hand, but... And the 8 of diamonds comes up, but there's 4 diamonds out there, so that should freeze both players, I would think.
Maio from Philly going to check, and now Paredes. You would think only bets if he has a diamond. Does not. He has a little straight there. Paredes from New York City, 34 years old. They call him Gaucho.
He's made a healthy
Whoa,
bet here.
Yeah.
$750,000.
He's going to try to take this away from Maio.
Peculiar bet in my mind. You're only going to get called if your opponent has a diamond.
Maio, we know, has just 2 pair. He is going to lay it down.
So David saying, hold the Maio, pass me the pot.
All right. Action's going to be on the chip leader, David Paredes. David went to Harvard, has a master's in fine arts and fiction writing. Also went to law school at NYU.
And he's got a quality hand. King, queen of diamonds, going to raise to 225. Farid out. Vlad out as well. They're dropping like flies.
Folded around to Anthony Merulla, another lawyer. And he goes out. So David Paredes is going to take down that pot. Since he became a lawyer, decided to quit that and become a professional poker player. Has been one now for 4 years. Loves it much more than being a lawyer, he said.
Farid Jattin out of Colombia looks down at a king 8. Won't play that. Mezheritsky from Brooklyn also folds. Jaffee now won't play that hand. It's on Maio, and he is going to raise with an ace-3 to 225. Merulla going out.
Well, action on Paredes. He looks down at ace-king.
Uh-oh.
And just calls, does not raise with ace-king out of the big blind. Surprised at that. He's not exactly what you call a standard player.
Flop goes up 10-4 deuce. And Paredes is checked, and Maio is betting 235. Straight draw for Maio. Paredes is going to be stubborn with his ace-king, says, I'm in. Makes the call. Going to the turn, it's a deuce, pairs the board.
These are the 2 chip leaders going at it here.
They both check. Down to the river. It's a 7 of spades.
Again, it goes check, check. Both players happy to check down their ace high, but David Paredes with the ace-king. Going to take down the pot. So back-to-back pots by Paredes.
Back of the table, Mezheritsky, guy that used to be a card dealer back in the day. Now a poker pro, quickly folds, and now Jaffee. With a pair of 9s, will raise to 225. Maio out. Anthony Merulla.
He's on the button with ace-3, but folds it.
Around to Paredes. He has picked up the weapons of mass destruction. Pair of aces. He'll re-raise.
How good is this guy running so far?
And look behind him, Farid from Colombia, also with a quality hand.
He's got the ace-queen suited here. It's been 3-bet in front of him.
Farid now lives in Miami.
Farid makes the call.
And he is going to make this call, just swelling up this pot. Back on Jared making the call.
So here we go. It was 3-bet pre-flop, and we have 3-way action.
Let's take a look. It's a king 8 deuce.
Well, just a great flop if you have 2 aces. The only way you're beat is your opponent flopped a set. Nobody has a flush draw or a straight draw, so you got to be happy with this flop.
Yeah, Paredes will bet the aces like that. 900,000. And now Farid, he's thinking about this.
Well, he is doing it, Vince. He has raised this pot.
He's going to try to steal it. Horrible time to do so, we know. Makes it close to 1.9, and now...
Could be a saver for Jared here. It's an easy getaway now when this guy makes that raise with 2 9s, but he might have played this pot had Farid folded this hand, but in the meantime, action back on David Paredes.
And he's going to push all in. Farid, mistime bluff. What a gutsy move. Did not work.
Some big blows being thrown right there. And so far, everything going very well for David Paredes at this final table.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
Jared Jaffee folds. Maio out. Merulla also will fold his hand. Well, we got a bunch of folds in this hand. Around the horn to Farid. And he is going to push with his hand right now with an ace-7.
Well, the ace-queen didn't work. Let's move in on the ace-7 and see what happens.
Now it's on Vlad.
First one's good.
From Brooklyn, he likes his first card, he says.
Second one not so good.
And Mikey doesn't like his second card. He's going to fold it. And Farid's going to get back a little bit.
Action on Anthony Maio. He's out.
And now Anthony Merulla. Decent queen 10. Goes to 225. David out.
Jattin out.
Yes. Vlad out. Jared Jaffee, a WPT champion, also going to fold. So we will move on.
Anthony Merulla taking it down and relishing the applause.
Yep, going to the New Yorker. Anthony Merulla with a quick fold. Paredes also out. And now the Colombian. Farid not going to play.
Well, Vlad Mezheritsky from Brooklyn is on the short stack and moves all in with the ace-king.
Jared out.
Very close. We looked at a good one first, though.
And Maio cannot call. So finally, the Brooklynite going to take down his first hand this evening. Rail rooting his bro on. How exciting that has to be. Back down to the felt. David with a quick fold. And now Farid not going to play. Vlad now with a nothing hand.
Folds it. Action over to Jared. He is going out.
Yep, and now Maio in the small blind ace-5 will raise. Makes it 275 to go. Into the other Anthony Merulla, who has just a 10-9, Mike.
Yeah, we have two Anthonys sitting side by side.
One Anthony from Philly, the other one from New York. Battling against each other.
Anthony Merulla has made the call.
The flop's 10-7-5, so Merulla out-flopping Maio there with 10s. Maio checks into him.
Yeah, Maio's got bottom pair, Merulla's got top pair. Merulla, a finance professional to undergrad at Auburn and went to Syracuse Law School.
Bets 260.
That's 260, man. Anthony is bet 260.
Maio with the quick call. Look at these guys staring each other down.
See the turn?
Going to the turn, 4 of diamonds helps nothing.
So possible flush, possible straight. Maio checks. You're sitting in Merulla's seat. You're never going to put him on a diamond flush. He would have check raised you if he had 2 diamonds in his hand. That didn't happen. So you're going to bet top pair, just like Merulla's doing here.
Merulla from New York City, only a couple hours away from Borgata, says he loves this place. He's going to take down the pot with the 10s. Nicely done. This time has an ace-7. First to act, he won't play that. Now it's around to the Brooklynite. And Vlad has picked up a pair of queens.
All in.
He's going all in with it. Into Jared Jaffee. He'll muck a 10-5. Maio out. Merulla not playing. And David out. And just like that, the pair of queens will take down this one.
Well, again, Vlad wins an uncontested pot by moving all in. Gives his brother there, Jan, who just got out of the Marine Corps, sort of a poker salute.
Action back on Vlad. This time he can't play a 7-4. And now Jared has a nice pair of 10s.
Raise to 2 1/4.
And he will raise, makes it 225 to go.
Maio goes out.
And now Anthony Merulla's picked up the queens.
Wow, nice hand on the button for him. He is getting out raising chips. He is going to 3-bet it to 595,000.
Paredes out. And I can't believe this. Farid Jattin from Colombia has picked up kings. What a great time to do it.
Incredible. The pot's been 3-bet to him. He looks down and finds kings. And he is going to 4-bet it. He is going to make it just over 1.1 million to go.
Now it's back on Jared.
Well, pretty easy getaway here, I think, when these guys have 3 and 4 bet behind him.
On.
Oh, but look at this, Vince. He's moved all in.
What?
He's got both players easily covered.
I call.
Wow, Merulla has made the call. Well, Jattin makes the call also.
Oh, they turn up the cards. What a monster pot. What are we seeing here?
Wow. 4-bet, 5-bet. Good night, ladies.
Oh, they're pushing it all around.
You're running good. You're gonna hit a ton, so.
Farid is in great shape here.
Once again.
The young Colombian with a big opportunity.
I guess I didn't do that right.
A ton of clubs.
Well, there you hear Jared say, maybe I played this hand a little too fast. Well, we'll see. Here comes a flop.
Window 10. Boom.
Well, it's a 9-7-5 so far, so good for Farid.
Great flop for him. He has got a great shot to triple up here.
Yep, very soft flop for him. Now he's just got to sweat the turn. Here it comes.
Let's see the turn.
Oh, and it's a 10!
Oh, the 10 of diamonds. Jared Jaffee is taking the lead with 3 10s.
Pain and torture at the Borgata.
Unbelievable.
What a diamond.
Jared, what'd I tell you, Jared?
It's diamonds, though.
Well, meaning Merulla needs a queen or a diamond now to take the pot.
Farid very stoic. He's just taking that so beautifully. He knows he only has one outer.
Well, incredible. He had a dominating hand just a moment ago, and now with 1 to go, he's got a 1 outer.
Here comes the river card.
Well, let's see the river.
And it's a diamond!
Ace of diamonds comes off. Merulla is going to win this pot. Now, Jaffee has more chips than him, so he won't be eliminated. But boy, oh boy.
Farid has to say goodnight. Back on the Columbia Express for him. Horrible experience for Farid Jattin, out in 6th place. Going to take home $174,000, and he's over to talk to Matt Savage.
I knew it wasn't holding when it was a 10 of diamonds.
Farid, that's a terrible beat there. How do you react to something like that?
Honestly, like, as long as I don't make a mistake to bust. I mean, it really hurts because of the amount that we're playing for, but I feel good, you know. I've learned to win like a champ and lose like a champ. So this goes out to all the whiners out there, you know.
We don't see that attitude very often. Lynn, back to you.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
A wave of players have descended on the shores of Atlantic City, but only one's championship dream will come true. Continuing coverage of the $4 million Borgata Poker Classic continues next on the WPT.
Well, David Paredes out in front, 14.4 million. Anthony Merulla in 2nd place, 10.7. Anthony Maio in 3rd with 8.4. And Jared and Vlad both on the short stack with 1.5.
Antes of 15,000, blinds 50 and 100. Action on Jared Jaffee. Quick fold by him. Anthony Maio from Philadelphia also going out.
Round to Anthony Merulla now.
Up to Anthony.
He's a New Yorker, and he's got a pair of kings.
He's a finance professional. Went to Auburn undergrad, to Syracuse Law School. Got 2 kings here and is going to raise the pot. 225,000 to go.
Now David has a pretty solid ace, queen of spades, and he is going to re-raise. Vlad from Brooklyn out.
Look at this. Merulla just calls. Does not re-raise with the two kings. A bit surprising to me.
Here is the flop. It's a 7-6-5. Safe for the kings.
Well, he checks him. David checks right behind him, and now a queen comes off. This could spell trouble for David. He now has top pair with top kicker, but he doesn't have the best hand as Merulla has the kings and bets 450,000.
The way Merulla's been playing this hand so far, it's got his man completely trapped. It's just a smooth call there by Paredes. And the river card is an ace. Oh no! David making aces and queens. What a draw out against Merulla.
Well, Merulla has checked here. And you see David reaching for chips, and why not?
Doesn't realize how lucky he is.
He's going to bet 1.5 million here. Well, we thought Merulla was playing this hand very slow. It may bode well for him, Vince. As he lays his hand down here, he lost the minimum possible with that hand.
Incredible escape there by the New Yorker. And there's David's wife, Caitlin, on the rail. He's 34 years old, out of New York.
A very bright guy, Vince. Paredes went to Harvard for an undergraduate. He got a master's in fine arts and fiction writing, and then went to NYU Law School. So highly educated guy doing quite well here tonight.
Anthony Maio out. And now it's Anthony Merulla.
Well, two kings didn't work out, so let's try king four.
Yeah, he's going to make it 2:15 to go. David has a pair of jacks. What hands we're seeing.
What a thorn in the side this guy's becoming. For Merulla, that's for sure.
He's going to slow play, just call, and now the Brooklynite, Vlad, used to be a poker dealer. Now he's got a big hand.
All in.
He's got ace-king. He's gone all in.
Well, I can't blame him. He's on one of the short stacks here.
Jared out.
Merulla goes out, but David makes the call with the two jacks, and we have the race.
We have ace of clubs, king of hearts.
So Vlad Mezheritsky, all in with the ace-king, must win the race to stay alive.
It's a red race.
A couple New Yorkers going at it. Jacks versus ace-king. And there's Vlad's beautiful fiancée.
I would say he drew out there. He needs to draw out here to stay alive.
Vlad used to be a poker dealer, got sick of that when he said, these guys are winning a lot. I want to try it.
Everybody on their feet. Here we go.
All right, let's go to a flop. Let's see what we got.
Here we go, jacks versus ace-king. The flop is an ace and a jack. Oh, boy.
An ace in the door and a jack right behind it.
It's almost unbeatable.
David in great shape now. Going to take two runners to beat him, that's for sure.
Vlad puts back on the moose head.
It's because he's heading back to the woods, Vince.
He didn't like that flop, and here we go with a turn. It's a deuce of diamonds. It's over.
So that's going to do it for Vlad. Nothing he can do about it, Vince. You're short stacked. You're happy to get it in with ace-king. Just lost the race. Out in fifth place. Shaking his brother's hand. His brother just got honorably discharged from the Marine Corps yesterday, but got to win the races to win tournaments. Couldn't win it. Out in fifth place.
Right, Vlad from Brooklyn has to say goodnight. Over to talk to Matt Savage.
Vlad, you came in here as a short stack, but you picked it up another spot, come in fifth place. You pump up your bankroll a little bit. How does it feel?
I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. You know, not too many people, could say they made a WPT final table, and I'm very grateful. You
got your brother here.
Absolutely.
Just came out of the service. What has it meant to have you on here with you?
Yeah, you have no idea. I'm super excited to have him. He came here yesterday. He's supporting me, and he's a Marine, so he knows what's up. That was my security if I won.
Well, great run here. I'm sure we're going to see you again.
All right.
Thank
you very
much.
much.
Take care, Vlad.
Appreciate it.
Oh.
Look at this, Jared Jaffee going all in with the king jack. Now Maio behind him. Can't play an 8-4, he folds. Merulla from New York, he has an ace-8 of hearts.
Now, it's one of those borderline hands. Do you play or don't you? You have him well covered in chip count.
Two New Yorkers gonna battle for this. Will Anthony Merulla make a great call here?
Started with 1-4, right? Or 1-3. Call.
Yes, he's made the call.
Well, he is out in front with the ace high. If his hand stands up, we'll be down to 3 players. Jared Jaffee must win this pot to keep his hopes alive of capturing his second WPT title this season.
Jared Jaffee learned to play poker in his dad's garage home games. His poker life on the line as a 9-4-3 flops. Ace out in front.
There's Dad Milt, Mom Ellen in the house here, rooting Jared on, but he needs some help after that flop. Looking for a Picasso card, needs a paint here.
He needs some luck. An ace, that's gonna do it.
There you go, Jared drawing dead. Jared Jaffee looking for his second WPT title this season. Not gonna get it tonight.
Jared Jaffee, a WPT champion, out in 4th place, will take home $258,000. Let's see what he has to say.
Jared, not really the result you wanted today, but I know that everybody's going to want to know what you were thinking about when you had those 10s.
I mean, honestly, I think that was the only move right there. I mean, I don't think I can play the hand any different, to be honest with you. It was just unfortunate they both woke up with hands.
And then the emotion of that hand. When you catch the 10 on the turn, what are you thinking at that spot?
It's diamonds, though. There's probably going to be a diamond on the river. You know?
Well, you're still in the Player of the Year race lead, so I'm sure that means we'll see you more on the tour. And
yeah, no problem.
All right, Lynn, back to you.
Here we go, action on the Philadelphia native. Anthony Maio, he quickly folds. And now the other Anthony, Merulla, with a Jack-8.
He's gonna limp in. And David happy to get a free flop with a 4-3.
Here is the flop, and it's a 9-10-3. So David hits his 3s, but an open-ended straight draw there for Merulla.
Yep, and he's going to bet it. 125,000.
125.
David with bottom pair is going to make the call.
Yeah, going to keep him honest. And we are going to the turn, and it's a queen. That's a straight there for Merulla.
A beautiful card from Merulla.
He's betting 250.
David is drawing completely dead here. Well, David folds. Merulla taking down the pot.
It's been a long time since we lost 3 players before the blinds went up.
But these 3 players still have over 80 big blinds apiece, man. So obviously, as you play short-handed, you have to play more hands because you just can't sit back and wait for hands. They don't come that often. If you're sitting back and waiting, the blinds and antes eat you alive.
But the thing is, you get more involved because there's only 3 players. You play a little faster, so you get caught up in a hand. So you think, oh, I'm just going to play small ball. It's tough because then you want to protect your hand when you're out in front. Want to make some moves before you know it. It's all in.
Vince, from what we've seen at this final table tonight, these guys don't know what small ball is.
That's true.
Well, it just shows you when the field thins out, you do play marginal hands. Here's one guy raised with a king-7, the other 2 called with queen-10 and queen-3.
Yeah, it's flop time now, and the flop is a king-4. What a flop for Paredes.
Yep, he is king in this hand, that's for sure. He has flopped 3 kings.
Both guys check to him.
And he's going to bet. It would look too suspicious if he didn't bet after they checked when he raised pre-flop.
Too suspicious, but perhaps more profitable because he's going to take the pot, but not the biggest one.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
Call.
Going to call with a Jack-6. Anthony Merulla behind him.
You think he'd be happy to get a free flop here with the 5-deuce.
But he's taking his time. He's just got a 5-deuce, and he's going to try to steal this. Makes a raise.
320,000. And a quick raise. I mean, it was just a snap by Maio. Insta-raise.
Junk against junk. Repopping each other.
People from New York do not intimidate me. Being from Philadelphia, we have a strong rivalry with New York. I've been playing with these New Yorkers since I've been down here. It's fun, though.
I bet you think the gig is up here for Merulla. I mean, he tried to raise it and take this pot down with the 5 deuce, but the guy limped in and is now raising you. But look at this. Unbelievable. 1.6 million now the bet. With just the 5 deuce.
Incredible, Mike. The Philadelphian has to go out. He says, I'm going to take a rest, take a cheesesteak. I'm out of here. 3 players battling for the championship. We're coming back for more on the World Poker Tour. All right, action on. Our chip leader, David. He's going to raise to 250 with an ace-10. Maio out. And Merulla from the New York City has a king-8.
I'm going to cost him 130,000 more to call, but there's 490 in the pot already.
Call.
So he is going to make a call.
Ace-10 versus king-8. The flop is a queen-10-6, so a pair of 10s for David.
Check.
And they both check.
Check. Turn card.
Going to the turn, it is a jack of hearts. Gives Merulla an open-ended straight draw, actually. And he is going to bet at 260.
Well, David just has 2 10s, but makes a nice call here with him. With 2 overcards out there.
Down to the river. What will it be? It's a queen, pairs the board. So Merulla not getting any of that.
Well, he's just waving the flag here, Vince, giving this pot up.
Check.
Ace size probably good.
Showdown.
David not going to bet as well. Check, check.
Yeah, it's good.
And David Paredes will take this one. They call him Gaucho. He's 34 years old from New York City. And there's David's wife, Caitlin, on the rail. And David, a very talented player. Now back to this hand. A quick raise by Maio. He's got ace-7 of hearts. Merulla with ace-king has re-raised. Going to 635. David goes out and Maio with the insta-call.
I haven't seen anybody play with this kind of speed in a long time, and it does make me automatically fond of the guy.
So the battle of the Anthonys.
And the flop is a queen, 10, 8.
Merulla has the ace-high straight draw. Also has the best hand with ace-king, and he is going to bet here 400,000.
Maio really with nothing but guts because he's going to make this call. We're going to the turn.
Try to backdoor a heart flush or make a move later in this spot. Now a jack comes off, so a 4-card straight on the board right now.
And that just makes a beautiful straight, the cinch, the nuts for Anthony Merulla. And he's going to bet the nuts, 825.
Well, he's hoping his opponent has a 9 in his hand, where he would make a straight, where he could win all his chips. That's not the case, though. He goes out, and Merulla takes down the pot. And Maio saying to himself, why'd I call that bet on him?
Yeah, and Merulla saying, you know what? Maybe I should have checked it. Eventually get more money. But right now you can see Anthony Merulla with close to 12 million. David is in the chip lead with 19 million.
That's so true, Vince. When you bet the nuts and nobody calls you, you say, geez, why didn't I check there?
Especially when a guy like Maio folds so quickly, you know, you go, well, I didn't mean that bet. Take it back, but we move on. Anthony Merulla from New York with a pair of deuces. He makes it 250. But right behind him, our chip leader has an ace-jack.
He's going to 3-bet with it.
Anthony Maio going out. Merulla likes to play a lot of different hands. He's a very creative sort.
He's going to make the call with the 2 deuces. Flop comes queen 9-5 rainbow.
And neither player too pleased with that flop, and they both check. Turn card, another queen.
Well, David checks again. Wow, I'm surprised that Merulla checked right behind him here with the 2 pair. And now 5 comes off. Well, that's it for Merulla. He's going to play the board right now. His 2 deuces have been counterfeited. Action is on David, and he's leading out and betting. A little puzzling to me. He's just got ace high. Figures to be good when they both checked all the way, but what do you do if a guy raises you there?
Here we go. Action on the New Yorker, Anthony Merulla. And this time he has a 7-9 of hearts. Anthony's made over $500,000 in worldwide poker earnings.
Yeah, he's going to raise it up on the button here, it looks like. The men raise $240,000.
What's that? Call.
David folds, but Anthony Maio from Philly with a king 8 will make this call. 9-7 versus king 8, and we are a flop again. Look at this, 3 nines, just like that, for Anthony Merulla from New York.
Action on Maio, and he leads right out and bets. $165,000.
With zip and pip.
And just called by Merulla.
Chance of a lifetime. Walk the dog. He just calls. 4 of spades on the turn. Changes nothing.
Now Maio checks, and look at this. A cagey check by Merulla right behind him.
Gonna try to trap the Philadelphian, and it's gonna work beautifully as a 7. Just makes Anthony a full house now, and he's getting Maio to bet. Wow.
Maio bets $385,000.
Anthony Maio, 25 years old, falling into the trap. You can't blame him.
Okie dokie, just gonna raise it up here, and
sure.
There you see Maio doing the Watusi in his mind.
Pretending like he almost had a hand. We know better.
So pass the Maio and the pot over to me.
Anthony Merulla raising with the best hand there. Action on David. He quickly folds. And now Maio, who took a stab at that last hand, but it backfired, will raise with an ace-9 of spades, so 245. Anthony Merulla says he has obsessive-compulsive disorder and ADHD as well. And he finds that poker helps him keep focused.
Call.
And Merulla going to make the call out of the big blind with the king 10.
All right. Two-handed poker. Ace-9 versus king 10, and the flop is a king 3 deuce.
Great flop for Merulla. Maio leads right out and bets. And Merulla just calls him. Does not raise with the 2 kings. Well, now a 9 comes off. This is going to spell trouble here for Maio, perhaps, but he checks.
Merulla going to make a bet of 250. Auto call there for Maio.
And right now, nothing going right for Maio.
And the pot is getting expensive. Down to the river card. It's another king. Makes 3 of a kind for Merulla.
Look at this. Maio going to lead right out and bet. $275,000.
Getting in deeper into the quicksand.
And Merulla, who has 3 kings, is going to raise it. And a snap call by Maio.
What else is new?
And frustration setting in for Maio, as you can see. Once again, his opponent's got a better hand than he does.
Yeah, and the guy from Philly, Anthony Maio, just shaking his head. Manages to smile, but you know it's got to hurt.
Vince, it seems like every time Maio plays a hand, his opponent has a monster hand.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
Anthony Maio's on the short stack right now, just 3.4 million.
Down to the felt we go. Merulla from New York City. He's in finance, 39 years old. Picks up King 8 of hearts.
Makes it 240,000. That's the min raise.
And right there, the chip leader David with a King Queen.
He's going to make the call, and Maio goes out.
So the two New Yorkers going to battle for this.
Two lawyers going at it.
And the flop is a King 10-10. Both hit kings. David with the better kicker.
And both players check that flop. I am surprised at that.
7 of clubs on the turn changes nothing.
David Paredes is going to bet the kings up here. Can't blame him. And Merulla makes the call.
Down to the river we go. And it is a 5 of clubs. Doesn't change a thing.
Well, David checks. And Merulla checks right behind him.
Nice check. You want to rerun for value if I... Would you raise for value if I bet?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I don't know about that.
So, I mean, that was my plan. Good check.
Can't believe how little Merulla lost on this hand.
Sad. So bad. Too fancy.
David mumbling to himself, sometimes you lose even when you win.
100% raise for value?
I mean, that was my plan.
100%.
I mean, it depends how big you bet. I mean, if you bet huge, you probably just call, but if you bet like normal amount.
And there's David's wife, Caitlin, on the rail.
She's pregnant, having a ball right now. Why not? Her man is out in front. And that's what a wife that must be. He said, you know, I'm a lawyer. I'm quitting law. I'm going to play poker for a living. How does the wife take that, Vince?
Yeah. Proof in the pudding right there, though. He's a champ.
Well, not yet. Still got some work to do.
Maio's raised this. Anthony's gone out. David with an ace-queen just calling.
I'm very surprised he wouldn't 3-bet with this hand out of the big blind. Now flop comes Jack, Jack 5. No help to either player. And it quickly goes check, check. An 8 comes off. Dream card for Maio as he now has the lead with jacks and 8s.
He'll bet it 175. And our chip leader David from New York will make this call. River card, it's a 10 of spades.
Now possible straight, possible flush, possible full house. Goes check, check. Maio gonna win this pot with 2 8s. He says, finally, push some of that sandwich meat my way, says Maio.
Young 25-year-old out of Philadelphia, Anthony Maio. You know, he plays at the Borgata all the time, loves this casino.
I made a pair. I was really excited at a pair. I made a pair in a while. You guys keep making pairs and trips. Must be nice.
All right, and he's up to 25, blinds to 75, 150.
All right, David Paredes on the button. Looks down at 2 aces.
Oh, what a hand.
How good is this guy running?
Caught it again, and he will raise, of course.
Maio goes out.
Merulla has a pair of 3s. Not too bad. And yes, he will speculate and play.
You like to play small pairs in case you flop a set. You might double up through the chip leader here. Here comes that flop. Well, it's ace, queen, 6. One of them flopped a set, but it wasn't him. David with 2 aces has made 3 aces. Merulla quickly checks. And Paredes is going to bet here. It's like 275,000. And Merulla flies the coop. Well, David takes down that pot, but he's probably saying to himself, maybe I should have checked that flop.
All right, nevertheless, first Tony to act is Maio.
Just has 3.5 million, but he is going to raise it on the button here. Comes in for 300,000.
He's a local, loves to play at Borgata. He calls himself a grinder. And he's going to get Anthony to go out. Now David behind him has a king 10.
No, he's going nowhere. He's going to make the call.
David, the big chip leader at this point. The flop comes up ace 10-7.
So David has the best hand with 2 10s, but he checks.
And Maio's gonna bet.
And he makes the continuation bet.
200,000, Mike, and it's been called by David. Turn card's a 9 of hearts. Doesn't change much there.
It goes check, check.
And the river card, a 5 of spades.
David thinks he's got the best hand with 2 10s and top kicker right now. He's going to try to get a value bet in here of 500,000. But Maio has nothing. Throws his hand away, and David Paredes takes down the pot.
The battle will continue. Anthony Merulla, this time with an 8-6.
He's going to make a button raise here to 300,000.
David quickly folds, but Maio with a 10-9.
Quickly calls.
So let's see what happens. King, queen, 8. Merulla hitting 8s.
Maio's got the gut shot straight draw. He checks, and Merulla checks bottom pair.
6 on the turn. That gives 2 pair to Merulla.
Gives a 2-way straight draw to Maio. Maio checks.
And Merulla gonna punish some more. 250,000. And the Philadelphian guy, 25 years old, Maio, quickly calling, hoping to catch lucky. Can he do it once tonight? No. Ace of clubs on the river. Maio gonna check again. And the New Yorker gonna put in a $500,000 bet. Maio going out. Maio once again getting punished by the New Yorker.
Vince, the Maio is thinning out at this final table here.
Let's say that again.
And right now, Anthony Maio on the short stack. Ketchup and mustard out in front, Vince.
You can't just keep going on all night with the puns. It's just, come on. Oh, how do you do it? How do you come up with so many? I just want to know.
Hey, lighten up, Benny. Have a little fun here.
We are having fun. Maio's not necessarily mucks that hand. And now Merulla with a queen 8.
In the small blind. Up against the chip leader. These two guys have played very conservative against each other the whole night long. It's like they know they're the two big chip stacks and they just don't want to clash in a giant pot.
Merulla's going to raise this to 425. And David with just an 8-7 says, I'm in. So the two New Yorkers going to battle for this pot. And the flop is a queen 6-5.
Well, we'll finally see some fireworks maybe between these guys. Merulla with top pair. He checks. David has the open end straight. And he also checks. I'm shocked that there's not action on this flop.
Turn is another queen. Merulla hitting 3 of a kind. And he's going to try to trap. Checks again. Now he's going to get David to bet. David's getting chips out. Yep.
Well, 575,000 to bet.
See, Merulla just takes that hood and just covers his face whenever he wants. Says, don't read me. I'm going to destroy you. Just calls. And we're going to the river. David doesn't hit that because a jack of spades appears. And Merulla's going to check and try to get a bet one more time out of David.
Well, the only way David could win this pot is to make a bet at it. Otherwise, he's waving the flag and he checks. He saves that money bench. Many guys would have tried to bluff there because it's the only chance they had to win the pot. But David wisely checked it down, and Bruel saying, how much value did I lose on that hand?
Well, that's all the time we have here tonight at Borgata. We have seen some great action.
We're down to 3 players. Obviously, our current chip leader, David Paredes, came to this final table as chip leader. He's still the chip leader. He's the guy that's got to be the favorite right now.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
At Borgata in Atlantic City, high tension and high stakes with the dramatic conclusion of the Borgata Poker Classic tonight on the WPT.
There you see David Paredes, 20.4 million. Anthony Merulla with 13.5 million. And right now on the short stack with just a couple million, Anthony Maio. Over 842,000 to the winner and their first WPT title.
Andy's at 25, blind 75, 150. Here we go. Anthony Maio from Philadelphia with ace-5, gonna shove it all in.
That's how you play the short stack, just ship it.
A relic from New York out, as is our chip leader, David. So Anthony Maio, the local, plays here at Borgata all the time. Going to take down this pot in the three-handed battle. Now the action's on Anthony Merulla, and he commutes from New York City to Borgata all the time, loves this casino. He's going to fold that hand. David, though, with a 9-6, just calls. And Maio, with an 8-6, is content to see the flop, and the flop is a king 8-7.
So Maio out in front with 2 8s. David's flopped an open-end straight draw.
Yeah, David's going to bet it, Mike. He's bet 200,000, has been quickly called, going to the turn. It's another 7. So Paredes doesn't hit, and he checks.
Maio checks right behind him.
River card is a 4. And let's see what David does here. He's going to come out with a bet, take a stab at it, 425. And a good call by Maio.
Now Maio finally calls somebody and wins a pot. Just 2 8s, but it's good enough to get the job done here.
Yep, and he has a lot of friends and fans here. He's a local, loves Borgata. He says he's a foodie, and he loves the food here at Borgata. On to the next hand. Look at this. Anthony Merulla from New York has picked up queens. He's raising. David goes out.
Anthony Maio with the snap call.
And the flop is a 10-7-6. Maio's going to check.
Merulla bets 250,000. Maio quickly throws his hand away. So Anthony Merulla continuing to dominate Maio.
Now, Anthony Merulla lives in New York City, works in finance. He's 39 years old. His first ever WPT cash.
Maio looks down to 2 4s this time. Action's on him, and he just ships it again.
Charge.
On the button. Anthony is.
Merulla goes out, as does David. So Speedy Gonzalez here from Philadelphia. Anthony Maio going to take down another quick one. Now it's on Anthony again.
Anthony Merulla went to undergraduate school at Auburn, went to Syracuse Law School.
He's raised it. David out. And the juggler's going to call with an ace-3. And the flop is an ace-king 6.
Good flop for Maio. He's out in front with 2 aces. He checks. And look at this. Merulla checks right behind him, even though he's got kings.
Pretty smart. Turn card is a 10 of diamonds.
So again, Maio checks. Now Merulla thinks his kings are good. He's also got an ace-high straight draw now, so he's going to bet 225,000.
And the young guy from Philly going to make the quick call. Maio out in front. Going to the river. And the river card is a queen. And that's what makes a straight for Merulla.
Well, 3 diamonds out there, 4 cards straight out there. Maio checks.
Oh, this is going to be total punishment. Look at this, 700,000. A quick bad call by the Philadelphian.
Well, Vince, I'm not sure I understand that call on the river there. All you can beat is a stone cold bluff.
See, sometimes it's good to slow down.
Listen, thank you.
Before you make that kind of snap call.
Well, this is not the kind of guy that bluffs at pots. We haven't seen him do it yet.
That's true.
And Maio talking to himself a little bit there.
What a crushing river card and a crushing call. Anthony Maio now scrounging around the bottom again. David Paredes out in front with 20 million. Action's on him. And he quickly folds his hand, and now Maio with an 8-7. Whoa.
Going all in here. Merulla trying to figure out if that's some frustration from the last hand.
What stands out about Anthony's game is that he plays incredibly fast. My mind doesn't work that way, where I can figure out exactly what's going on without a lot of thought. I don't even know how he does it. It's like quicker than online clicks.
Would be a nice favorite if he makes his call with king high.
Well, but it's 2.2 million for him, Vince. I just can't see somebody calling a guy with 2.2 million with just a king 4.
No, he is going to lay it down.
So a nice all-in bet there by Maio to take it down.
I'm so impressed. All right, back to the action. Look at this. Anthony Maio has picked up the ladies. He's raised to 325.
Finally says I got a hand.
It's on Anthony Merulla with an ace-6 of diamonds. He's going to stick around. Makes the call.
David fold.
David out. So the juggler in great position.
And the two Anthonys going at it again.
And the flop is 7-5. These all diamonds. Oh no. Merulla flopping the nut flush. Merulla checking.
This could do it for Maio. He could get spread clear across the bread right here, Vince, and be out of here.
And Maio's a betting. And just a nice smooth call by Merulla. Maio has no idea how bad his hand is at this moment. 9 of clubs on the turn.
Oh, Vince, it looks good if you're sitting in the seat. You got an overpair with the flush draw.
Merulla checks, gonna trap again.
Maio.
Well, 425,000 to bet this time. And now you know Merulla's just thinking about, how can I get all the guys' chips here? What do I bet now to suck him in this spot to get them all?
The New Yorker trying to figure out how to extract all of the juggler's money. Make you go home, go back to your cheesesteaks with a nice story. Oh, look at that. That's how you do it.
All in.
Well, he set him all in. A quick call by Maio. He can't believe it. He's drawing dead.
Jeeges.
What a bad night for Maio in terms of being outcarded by his opponents.
It's over. It's over. Don't go that. It's over.
The Borgata grinder is going to have to say goodnight. He's stunned. Anthony Maio, third place, 307,000. Big effort by him for the local guy from Philadelphia. He's over to talk to Matt Savage.
Anthony, a real good run this week, over 300,000 in prize money. What are you going to use the money for?
Just buy a few things, play more poker. You know, just know whatever other grinder does is put it right back.
What does it mean to have the support behind you?
It's awesome support. I'm really happy. I'm very humbled by this, and I hope everyone had a nice sweat. So.
Well, once again, good job. We'll see you again. Lynn, back to you.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
There you see the chip counts of the two players. David with 19 million in chips, Anthony with 17.6 million. So certainly anybody's game.
Action on Anthony Merulla, New York City.
He's a finance professional. Went to Syracuse Law School.
He's got an 8-4.
325.
But that's not going to stop him. He's going to make a raise, face at 325 to go. And David, our chip leader, with just a 10-6, will speculate. Here's the flop. It's a 9-6-4.
So both players getting a piece of that. David has middle pair. Anthony has bottom pair. And it goes check, check.
Going to the turn. It's another 4. 3 of a kind for Merulla.
Oh, boy. Could be trouble for David. You have to think your 6 is up to the best hand after both players check the flop. So he's going to bet here. Bet a $500,000.
Merulla makes the call. Oh, look at this. A 6 on the river. That gives 6 is full for David and 4 is full for Anthony.
1.2 million to bet now.
I played with David yesterday, and I think that he's the best player at the final table, and it's not even close. He takes bluff spots, squeeze spots, and puts a lot of pressure on you and doesn't give off any live tells. Super impressed with his game.
Good call.
Well, Anthony fearful his opponent's got sixes full, and that's the case.
Good hand.
A wry smile there as he shows him the four.
A suck out there for David.
Well, what a hand to start heads up.
I wanted to fold, couldn't find it. It's like, how bad would that look?
That's a tough fold.
Like, how bad is it? I don't know, I really wanted to. I don't know.
Hard to get away from that. Don't be embarrassed, don't be shy. Just pay him off. Right back to the action we go. Action on David. He's got ace deuce this time, makes it 350 to go. And Merulla with a 9-7 of spades, gonna re-raise. And now David.
He is 4-betted to 2.3 million.
With just acey deucey, the old kids game.
It's in the first 4-bet and the heads-up match, usually a bluff. You get it.
Well, that was pretty much a bluff. It was the best hand, but David didn't necessarily think so.
And Gaucho is going to raise with a Jack-10 to 450. Anthony behind him with just a Jack-3.
Wow, he's going to re-raise to over 2 million, Vince. That's 2,025,000. A healthy re-raise of over 1.5 million. But David wants to call. He wants to see a flop with the Jack-10 suited. Anthony probably not liking that. But he should be liking that flop as he's taking the lead with 2 threes as it comes 9-6-3. Well, weirdly to me, Anthony checks the flop. But notice there's 2 spades on the board, giving David a flush draw.
I'm the worst. Screwed up the raise size. Free.
David is going to bet 1.6 million.
Yeah, Anthony looking uncomfortable.
You win.
And he will fold that hand. Well, he's looking a little perplexed at this moment. David extends the chip lead. And the antes are going up to 50,000 now. 150 and 300,000 are the blinds. Anthony. It's on him, and he's got a really strong one here, ace-king.
And he is going to raise it to 600,000. And that's just the minimum raise of 300,000.
David right behind him is going to re-raise.
1.5 million.
He's going to take a stab, but at the wrong time, because there goes the repop.
The 2.6 million. So that's the 4-bet.
On.
Uh-oh.
David goes all
Wow.
David's made a big mistake. He's gone all in.
All right, Anthony.
Well, I'm shocked, Vince. I got to tell you the truth.
Oops.
This guy's played great all night long, and all of a sudden he wants to go to war with a king deuce when he has a monster chip lead over his opponent. Whereas if he loses this pot, he'll be the underdog in chip count.
Boy, that is oucho for Gaucho. He's got to be hating himself right now, but he could get lucky. We will see.
And if he gets lucky, he'll be our champion.
Well, the flop is not good for David. 8-4-4.
Anthony stole in the lead.
Good for Anthony. His ace-king in front. Can it stay that way?
Now, David needs to catch a deuce. Nothing else is going to do for him.
Yes, so it's not to be there. It's a 10 of hearts. Down to the river, and it's a 9 of hearts.
So just like that, Anthony Merulla has taken the chip lead in this heads-up battle.
All right, the antes are 50,000. Blinds going up to 2 and 400. Let's go get him. Action on Anthony Merulla.
Well, he looks down at a 7 deuce. Does he know you can fold before the flop?
Well, maybe he's confused. He thinks he has aces. He doesn't, but he makes it 900,000.
900,000 with the 7 deuce.
David also confused. Just calls with Jack-9. Here we go. It's an ace, 8-8.
8 of clubs, 8 of hearts.
Flop helps neither player.
Well, David checks. How can you check this with a 7 deuce? Doesn't make sense to me.
They both check. And now a jack comes up. David hitting jacks. And a 4 flush for Anthony Merulla.
It's puzzling to me why you wouldn't make a continuation bet on that flop. But he's betting on the turn here. 1 million.
David with the jacks making this call.
Going to the river.
Here we go. Last card. 10 of spades. Doesn't change anything. Check.
Anthony checks right behind him. David is going to win this pot with jacks and 8s. David went to Harvard, then he got a master's in fine arts and fiction writing. Then he went to law school at NYU, and now for 4 years he's played poker for a living.
And he's going to try to win this title tonight. David has raised with a 10-9. And now Anthony is re-raised to 2 million with just a 7-6. David's making the call. Expensive pot we got going here, and the flop's a queen 8-4. Anthony coming out with a bet of 1.5 with an inside straight draw.
Well, David also has a good shot straight draw, so he's calling.
And a 5 hits on the turn. And that gives Anthony Merulla a straight.
Well, he just can't believe it. Just the card he was dreaming about.
The nuts at this point.
Got the best hand possible here.
And he's going to bet it 2.4 million. Anthony's just kind of hoping David maybe had a queen and was just playing it slow, but not to be. David's got a muck. Anthony's going to say shucks, take the pot, and be happy.
Well, they're starting out almost exactly where they were when this heads-up battle started in terms of chip count, 19 million to 17.
All right, and now the antes are 75,000, and the blinds are going up to 250 and 500,000. Merulla from New York with a 7-5 of clubs, going to raise to $1 million, and it's been called with a king 7 by David. Here we go.
Well, king jack 10 with 2 clubs on the flop. David with top pair. Anthony with the flush draw. David checks.
Anthony going to bet 1.3 with the 4 flush. David quick calls with his kings. Going to the turn.
Four of clubs. This gives Anthony a flush.
David's going to check it. Anthony's getting out those punishing chips of 2.2 million. David, though, going to get stubborn.
And here you go. David makes the call. And this a monster pot.
And a 10 on the river pairs the board. David checking again. And Anthony's getting the chips out. Wow, he's putting in a big bet, over 5.3 million. It's such a big bet, it almost looks like a bluff. Now, if you're David, you got kings up. Hard to lay this down. And he's going to make this call.
Flush.
Ouch.
Anthony says flush. That's going to be good enough to get this job done here to win this pot.
Anthony from New York City now taking a chip lead. 2 New Yorkers going at it. Anthony Merulla with a pair of jacks.
Another very nice hand for Anthony. He is going to raise it here.
Yeah, makes it 1.6 million. David with queen 9 will speculate. See if he can get something to happen here. Here's the flop. It's a 10-4-3. Jack's well out in front. David's going to check.
Oh, beautiful flop for Anthony. Got the overpair. He's going to bet 1.2 million. And David has nowhere to go but out.
He's going to slink away. Anthony Merulla is currently flush with chips. You're playing for 840,000. You're a smart guy.
And he's got the big chip lead. These are both smart guys, both lawyers.
All right, action on David. He's got a quality hand. King, queen of diamonds will make it $1 million to go.
Anthony makes the call with the queen 10.
And we are a flopping. It's a jack 9-6. Both have straight draws, and Anthony checks. David's bet 800. Anthony is going to raise to 2.4 with the open-ended straight draw. And look at this. David's going to go all in.
All in and called. Here we go.
David's still out in front with a king high, but Anthony with an open-ended with a shot of breaking David right now and taking home a WPT title. The crowd on its feet.
David couldn't be up against a better hand. Anthony, a queen doesn't help him. A 10 doesn't help him. Only an 8 or a king is going to help him.
Will this be Anthony Merulla's last hand to take the championship? No, it's a 10 of diamonds. David picks up the straight.
Well, he's made the nut straight on the turn. Anthony can only tie by catching a king on the river. Nothing else will do for him. Must catch a king to tie. Doesn't happen. So just like that, David gets back a lot of his chips.
Boy, it's a seesaw battle.
WPT Global is committed to being the most fair and secure poker site in the world. Data-driven AI detection technology eliminates collusion and ensures a fair environment for everyone. With zero tolerance for bots and cheaters, WPT Global is trusted by millions of players worldwide. Click the link in the description. Use the code YT11 on deposit and get our welcome package with tournament tickets, deposit match, and more.
Now, Anthony Merulla's chip lead has dwindled down to less than 2 million now.
2 New Yorkers, one of them about to take down a WPT title here tonight.
Well, David now lives in Brookline, Massachusetts, though, but he grew up in New York.
Actions on Anthony, our chip leader at first. He's got queen 10.
He's just going to limp in and call here.
David, on the other hand, is going to raise with an ace-4. Makes it 1.5.
If your opponent doesn't raise before the flop, you certainly think ace-high is the best hand, so he raises it.
Anthony has called. And we're going to see 3 cards. Here they go. It is a king 7 deuce. Neither player has a heart. David is going to bet 1.5. And Anthony quickly folds.
Now the power of the continuation bet right there being displayed by David.
All right now the antes are still the same, 75,000, but the blinds are going up to 300,000 and 600,000, Mike.
Well, over $1 million to play 2 hands of poker now.
We are into deep stretch here at the Borgata. Action on David, who is now the chip leader once again. This time he has an ace-5 of hearts. He'll raise 1.2 million. Anthony has called with king 4. And here we go.
And flop comes 8-3-3. Anthony checks. And David checks the ace-high behind him. Now a 6 comes off. Maybe Anthony thinks he's got ace-high. Maybe a bet will get him off that hand.
He's going to show some guts and make a bet of 1.1 million. David with just ace-high.
Well, he's showing some guts by calling, Vince.
He is.
With just ace-high and no draw.
And the river card's a 4 that hits Anthony.
Amazing dream card for Anthony. Gives him the best hand with 4s and 3s. And shockingly, he's going to bet 3 million. I say shockingly because I can't imagine you get paid off for that much unless you're beat.
It's a big bet.
But I'm wrong. He gets paid off.
I have a 4.
Yeah.
But 2 4s are good. I think he thought he was bluffing there, Vince. He was bluffing with the best hand and got paid off. Amazing.
Oh, David winces right there. Here we go. Anthony first to act. He has a Jack 8 of clubs.
Well, he's just going to limp in on the button here. Blinds are so high that these guys are happy to put in that and see a flop.
David with ace high. Not going to raise, so here we go with the flop. It's a 10-7-3. Pair of 3s for David. He's going to check quickly. Anthony, who has an inside straight draw, has bet 900,000, and he's been called. And there's an 8.
That gives Anthony 2 8s and the lead. David checks. Anthony checks right behind him. And now the board pairs 10s. So David checks. Now, if you have 2 8s here, you absolutely think they're the best hand. You can tell Anthony thinks so because he's betting 1.5 million. And he gets paid off with bottom pair. And Anthony Merulla confidently turns up the 2 8s this time to take down the pot.
Come on, David. Shake it off. Come on.
You gotta love his wife, Caitlin, in the audience. Just a great rooting section. Keeping him pumped up to shake it off.
David, come on.
She'd be great at Little League games. Shake it off. Very supportive. He'd love to come back and get this win. Can he do it?
Well, still got plenty of chips. Here he looks down at a queen 8. And he's going to raise it to 1.2 million on the button. Anthony with the queen 3.
Yep, he's going to stay involved, makes his call.
So David has him dominated right now.
And the flop is a queen 3-6. Look at that 2 pair for Anthony. David with top pair with just queens.
Well, this is going to spell big trouble for David here. And look at this. Anthony's leading right out into the pre-flop raiser. Well, David's going to raise it here to find out where he's at.
1.3 total.
2.3 million now the bet by David.
Now it's back on Anthony.
And Vince, look at that. Anthony is taking his bet back. That means he is going to raise it again. If he was just going to call, he would add to that stack. Well, that lead out bet may allow him to get all the money in before the flop here and get paid off. $4.3 million the bet.
Boy, now there's a possibility maybe David can get away from this hand.
Oh,
But he says all in, Vince.
Oh, boy.
And the quick call by Anthony. David in big trouble, must have help to stay alive. He needs an 8 or 6 right now to take the lead.
Otherwise, Anthony Merulla from New York City, 39 years old, will become a WPT champion at Borgata. 2 cards away from the destiny. Here we go with a turn card. It's a 7 of diamonds. So that doesn't help David.
It's come down to the river. David must catch a 3 across to stay alive in this tournament. Must catch a 6, 7, or an 8.
1 card left. Will this be the champion card?
It's over. The 4. There you go. Anthony Merulla is our champion, Vince. The only amateur at the table taking down the title.
he had so many suckouts. It was ridiculous.
I love you so much. You played awesome.
Before we go talk to our champion, Matt Savage is talking to our runner-up, David Paredes.
I'm pretty happy. I played, 5 really solid days of poker in a great venue run by a great staff, and I'll be back.
All right, David, an emotional week for him, and we'll go over to our winner and Mike Sexton.
Once again, our champion, Anthony Merulla. Glenn, back to you.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
In the city of angels, it's bright lights and big action as the poker spotlight is ready to shine. The LA Poker Classic kicks off now, tonight on the WPT.
Well, there you see our chip leaders. Michael Rocco out in front, nearly 5.6 million in chips. Chris Moorman in second place. And that's what they're playing for. The winner tonight takes home over $1 million and takes down this coveted title.
We started out with 534 players. We're down to these 6. Andes are 5,000. Blinds are 15 and 30. The cards are flying around the table, and it's on the Englishman, Chris Moorman. Chris looks down at an ace-jack of clubs. He likes it. Makes it 65,000 to go. Into the Frenchman, Patrick Bruel. Great entertainer, fine player. He folds.
Next up is Josh Neufeld. Josh, 24 years old, from Los Angeles.
Josh has got a whopper of a hand, Mike. Ace-king.
He is going to 3-bet this.
And Josh Neufeld is going to make it 160,000 with his ace-king. Glenn Lafaye quickly folding. Adam Friedman not playing. And now we're around to the chip leader, Michael Rocco from LA as well.
Yeah, 24 years old. Calls himself a professional nomad. He just travels around doing whatever.
Okay, he travels out of this hand and back on Chris Moorman making the call. This could spell trouble for Moorman. Ace-jack under the ace-king, and here we go with the flop.
Well, the flop comes 7-4-4 with 2 clubs. So Chris has flopped the nut flush draw, is going to check.
Let's see if Josh makes the continuation bet. No, he slows down.
Now a 10 comes off.
No help to either player. And look at the Englishman is getting it out. Now he's #1 online player in the world, won more money than anyone. And now he's playing a live tournament and playing well. He's betting on the come here.
I'm going to bet 150,000 here.
Can he get Josh to go out?
Vince Josh sold a screenplay when he was 16 years old about online poker.
Now playing at the final table. He's going to fold his hand.
So Chris Moorman going to take down pot #1 at this final table. Back to the table.
Josh Neufeld will fold his hand. Glenn Lafaye now, 40-year-old out of Ridgefeld, Connecticut, also won't play. And now it's around to Adam Friedman.
Adam, a phenomenal poker player, terrific 7-card stud player, has a World Series of Poker bracelet on that, great at high-low split games. He'll admit No Limit Hold'em is his worst game, but still, this guy is good.
He's raised with nothing into the chip leader, Michael, who has a junk hand, 7-deuce, he won't play. But the Englishman, Chris Moorman, does have a real hand, ace-jack.
And he won the last pot with ace-jack when he didn't have the best hand. This time he does have the best hand with the ace-jack. Let's see what he's going to do with it.
Adam just taking a shot. He is a short stack at this moment. And he cannot shake loose Chris Moorman.
Makes it 160,000 to go.
Patrick going out. Adam's going to slink away.
Quickly folds.
Gotta respect Adam, though, to take a shot there. In position. Saw guys were folding in front of him. Said, I'm going to take advantage of that, perhaps. But it backfired.
Well, there's some of Chris Moorman's rooters in the crowd.
On to the next hand. We had 534 players start this event. Mike, you finished in the money, of course.
I did. I actually played for 4 days in this tournament. Played with Glenn a fair amount. Played very solid when I was at his table.
He's got a 7-5, won't play that mess. And now Adam again gets involved with an ace-queen of hearts. He will raise. Makes it 60,000 to go. Rocco, the chip leader, will fold.
Chris Moorman out as well.
The Frenchman, Patrick, he will not play that. And now Josh with a 7-5 of spades.
Josh in the big blind. He's got money invested.
Yeah, he was induced to call and makes that call.
Wants to see a flop here. And a good flop for him.
You think?
He's flopped the stone nuts.
By playing slop, and he's going to check it.
Well, Adam checks right behind him.
Yeah, no continuation bet. And now it's a 4 of hearts. Now there's 4 of hearts there for Adam, though.
Josh is now going to bet the straight.
Betting 60,000.
Let's see what Adam's going to do with this flush draw. Better be a little careful here.
Doesn't get aggressive. Lucky for him, perhaps, because he's not made yet. Can he catch his heart? No.
Now the board pairs 6s. So now there's 2 pair on the board. Josh has the straight.
A little value bet here.
It's not so little. It's 130,000. Adam has 2 pair with an ace kicker now, though. He's going to make the call, and he's going to see his opponent flop the straight. So far, nothing going right for Adam at this final table.
Josh Neufeld, 24 years old. There's Josh's family and friends. Here we go. Action's on Adam. And he can't play that. So we move on to the chip leader, Michael Rocco. He's got a nothing hand. He will muck.
Over to Chris Moorman. He picks up ace queen, so he's getting some cards here. He's going to raise it. Makes it 65,000 to go.
Patrick out. Josh Neufeld will not play.
Over to Glenn Lafaye. He's in the big blind. Then the money manager, a former equities trader.
Yeah.
Going to make the call here.
Going to speculate with a 5-4. And here we go.
The flop comes queen 10-8. Good flop there for Chris. He's got top pair, top kicker.
Nothing for Lafaye. He checks. And the 28-year-old Chris with top pair. Getting out the money. He's going to bet a smooth 70,000. And Glenn Lafaye with nothing. Glenn, an investment fund manager.
They better be careful here. I don't think this would be the time to make a move. Nope, he decides to lay it down, so Chris Moorman picking up yet another pot.
Highly respected poker pro out of England. Doing quite well right now.
Action's going to be on Michael Rocco, our chip leader here.
24 years old, the professional nomad. He calls himself, fine player, and finally he picks up a real hand. Ace, queen of clubs.
Definitely going to raise this. Makes it 75,000 to go.
But right behind him, Chris with a pretty solid queen, jack of spades.
Moorman, by far the most aggressive at the table so far, but he's out of hand every time.
Getting those racing chips out. Yes, he's going to make it 185.
Patrick Bruel goes out.
Yeah, Josh not playing. Around to Glenn, who's got a nice suited connector. 6-7 of clubs.
Yeah, it's been 3 bet in front of him. Doesn't have that many chips. He goes away.
Adam out. The 2 chip leaders going to battle for this. And Michael just calling it. Doesn't get fancy.
Well, the flop comes ace jack 6 with 2 hearts. Nice flop for Michael Rocco. He's got top pair. Chris has got middle pair, and they have the same kicker. Not good news for Chris.
Michael has checked it. Gonna wait for his victim to bet it. Chris swinging away, bets 185.
Well, Michael's just gonna make the call here.
Michael looks like one of the most relaxed human beings I've ever seen. Wonder what he does. Walking around in the hills all day as a nomad.
Well, an ace comes off on the turn.
Oh, yeah.
Michael was leading out and betting 500,000. Now, Moorman 3-bet before the flop. He bet on the flop. But after check calling the flop, Rocco leading out on the turn for $500,000. And it's puzzled Moorman because he's made the call here, thinking his jacks might be the best hand.
2 chip leaders in a big pot, and the river cards, a 3 of diamonds.
So 3 diamonds on the board now. Rocco getting out some heavy artillery now. That is $1 million he's betting. What will Moorman do now? They called him on the turn. Can he get away from this hand now?
Chris, a great bridge player, pool player, you name it, poker player, highly respected. In a dilemma right now to call or fold.
And he gets away from this hand. A good lay down there by Chris Moorman. And our chip leader, Michael Rocco, takes down a nice pot there to extend his chip lead.
Yeah, he's a local. He's been waiting patiently. He calls himself a nomad, and now the nomad has struck.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
Let's go to Josh Neufeld, the local. Josh this time with a nice ace-10 of clubs.
He's reaching for raising chips.
His grandfather, Mace Neufeld, a big Hollywood producer, taught him how to play poker, and Josh is doing the right thing here. Makes it $65,000 to go.
Yeah, Mace produced movies Hunt for Red October, Invictus, and The Omen, among others.
Glenn and Adam out, and now our chip leader, Michael. No, he won't play that.
Chris Moorman out as well.
But the Frenchman, Patrick Bruel, with a king-7 of clubs.
Ah, c'est la vie, monsieur.
In the big blind, will invest. So ace-10 versus king-7. We are flopping. It's an ace-king-9.
Not good for Patrick. He's flopped 2 kings, but his opponent has flopped aces.
Patrick quickly checks. And Josh, will he make the continuation bet? He bet before the flop. He hits on the flop.
70,000.
And Grandpa would be happy because he makes the bet, 70,000.
And Patrick likes to play a lot of pots. And he's going to make the call here.
Ooh la la.
Going to need some help. Doesn't happen on the turn as the 3 of spade comes off. Again, Patrick checks.
And Josh is getting the chips out again. He's going to bet 150,000. The Frenchman getting stubborn here, doesn't believe the man on his left.
Well, without hesitation, Patrick calls again.
Okay, down to the river we go.
Well, a jack comes off.
Yep, jack of spades.
Action on Patrick. Again, he checks. Josh checks right behind him. Patrick turns up kings. His opponent turns up aces.
Reaction from Patrick like, how can you have an ace against me? That's impossible. But he does. And Josh Neufeld, the local, the 24-year-old, going to take down that pot. Now the blinds are going up to 20 and 40,000. Action right back on Josh. And this time he has
Queen 8 offsuit.
Not much of a hand, yeah. Glenn Lafaye, the non-professional, father of 2. Behind him has a pretty good ace-jack.
Been playing poker for 30 years, he says. He's not afraid of any of these pros. He's very confident. Actually believes he's the best player at the final table.
Well, he has raised it to 105, and now Adam Friedman with a little pair. He's on the short stack.
Adam's been a pro for 8 years.
I bet it all.
He's going to bet it all.
He's going to bet it all. Moves all in here with the 2 4s.
Michael going out. Chris Moorman not playing. Patrick still disgusted after the last hand.
I like the first one, but...
So he gets out of the way, so it's back on Glenn Lafaye.
I do want to bet every dollar I got in my wallet. I got the best team right now.
Do you have any money in your wallet?
A few $100.
I'm on the fence here. I need a second, guys. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
Adam says he wants to entertain at the table. He likes to be talkative, have a good time, but he's got that short stack he just hasn't enabled him to, and he's going to get the action he wanted.
Well, he's made the call. You just wonder if that speech made his opponent think he had a small pair. Decided to make the call with the ace-jack, and we're racing.
Good point.
If you had about ace-9, you'd have folded.
Adam Friedman would love to double up right now.
Adam's tournament life on the line. Can he hold off?
Oh, boy.
Ace right in the door. Tough luck for Adam Friedman. Looks like he's got to catch a 4 now to win this pot.
Adam Friedman needs to catch lucky. Deuce of clubs, no help for Adam.
We are down to the river. Adam Friedman has a 2-outer, must catch a 4. Otherwise, he'll be our 6th place finisher.
Adam needs the big suck out. Can he get it? River card is a 5, not to be for Adam.
So that's going to do it for Adam Friedman out tonight in 6th place. He'll be heading back to Columbus, man. Good week for him, but this wasn't meant to be tonight. Good sport. Handshakes all around.
Adam Friedman out in 6th place. We'll take home $200,000 and great stories back to Ohio. Michael Rocco, the chip leader with $6.5 million.
Chris Moorman in 2nd place, as you can see. Lafaye in 3rd. Patrick Bruel from France in 4th.
All right, action going to Michael. And this time our chip leader looks at a king deuce of hearts. And the very aggressive young guy is going to raise it to $100,000. Chris out.
Patrick Bruel's got the kind of hand you like to see flops with. He's in position on the button. He's going to make the call for $100,000.
Josh Neufeld out. And now Glenn will not play. So two-way action, king deuce versus 9-7. Both of them have hearts.
When hearts come on the flop, it's come queen 6-3. This might not bode well for Patrick Bruel here.
Boy, they both have 4 flushes. Michael going to make the continuation bet of 125. Patrick going to call. Fourth Street is a 3, pairs the board. And now Michael staring down the Frenchman. Finally, he's going to check. And this is going to open up a little opportunity for Patrick. He's got nothing but a 4 flush, but maybe he can take it now. He's thinking betting 175. But this young kid is stubborn. He's making the call.
Well, he's got the bigger flush draw.
River card, no flush. Just a 3 of diamonds, 3 of a kind on board.
Michael Rocco. He's leading out and betting 400,000.
Yes, and Patrick, discouraged, has to throw away his hand. This kid can really play great poker. And right now, action's right back on Michael. This time he has a king 6 of diamonds.
They're going to open right under the gun here with just a call. He limps in. Moorman behind him with 2 10s.
Yeah, he's got the real hand, pair of 10s.
And no limit hold'em. There's a slogan, beware of the limper, but Moorman not paying attention to that. He's going to raise it here with the 2 10s.
Yeah, made it 130 to go. Patrick out, and Josh also out. And now the non-professional Glenn Lafaye with an ace-8 of spades, and he's thinking he can get in cheap here, perhaps.
Well, not so cheap. It's 130,000.
But he's in for the big blind start, so he's going to invest here.
After limping in, Rocco now raises it to 460,000 with just a king 6.
Yeah, getting aggressive with that.
He is staring down Moorman.
You know, Chris has a real hand here.
Well, you're always afraid that the guy limped in might have aces or kings. Well, Moorman's not afraid of that because he's raised him again. He makes it 930,000 to go. Then Lafaye says, why did I call that 130?
Donated a little bit, and now it's back on the chip leader, Michael, and he is going to stay in this.
Well, just getting stubborn now. It's just like a macho contest with him right now, it looks like.
A lot of money in the pot. Here we go. Who will get lucky? And here comes the flop, and it's, oh my goodness, 10-3-3. That's 10s full for Chris Moorman.
Just a dream flop for Moorman. Rocco checks.
Now for Chris, show tunes going off in his head. He's going to check and try to trap.
Well, that may work now because the 4th diamond has come off for Rocco. He now has a flush draw, obviously drawing dead. But he doesn't know it.
This could give him hope, and he is going to come out with a bet again of 450. Oh, boy. This is Trap City here for the Englishman. He's thinking, okay, definitely don't raise. You got position on him, and you just call. Beautifully done.
Yeah, just going to try to reel him in where he can get the complete double up here.
Down to the river. If Michael gets his diamond, look out. Let's take a look.
He got a king.
Yeah, he got the king.
He now has kings up here. So he was bluffing, now thinks he has the best hand. Now going to get a value bet in, or try to. 930,000.
Chris Moorman, 10's full. You've been setting up your man.
Call it clock.
Wow, that was fast.
Wasn't enough time yet. He hasn't had enough time to act on that hand. He hasn't had enough time to act on the hand. It's not enough time. I'm not allowing
You're a
that.
joke.
You take 2 minutes every hand pre-flop yesterday.
You're a joke.
Okay.
These guys are sparring now, Vince. The gloves have come off, folks.
You got 2 jacks? You call it 2 jacks? Put the money in. You flat me with 2 jacks pre-flop, get to the river, this land fold. Cool.
Flat you flat me.
It is getting ugly here in LA.
Boy. Folks, this could be Ali Frazier 4 before it's over with. Well, there it goes. It's all in now. That'll quiet him down.
Now that's only an additional 700,000, but still, Michael's got to think through this and go, wait a second, is this guy really going to put in all that money at this point?
Well, there's 5.5 million in the pot.
Right.
Cost him 700,000 to make this call. Well, it seems obvious that Michael Rocco realizes Moorman's the guy to beat at this table. Trying to get into his head, calling the clock early on him, then saying put your money in. Well, he put it in all right. He put it all in.
He's going to make the good laydown.
Well, it was a good laydown, and Moorman wins that pot, and with it, he takes the chip lead.
And they are getting feisty in LA at the LAPC. $1 million for the winner, and they are throwing punches at each other.
Bare knuckles too, Vince.
It doesn't get better than this.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
In Los Angeles, there's fame and fortune on the line as the Commerce Casino plays host to the biggest game in town. The $5.1 million LA Poker Classic continues tonight on the WPT.
Chris Moorman out in front with 5.5 million. Michael Rocco in second place. That's what they're playing for. Over $1 million in cash and this coveted title.
Well, we started here in LA with 534 players. We're down to these 5 right now. And these are 5,000 blinds, so 20 and 40. Here we go. A couple folds around to the local Josh Neufeld. He's going to go out as well.
So the battle of the blinds here. Glenn Lafaye in the small blind looks down at 5-6 offsuit.
He's a non-professional player, father of 2. He'll raise with this, makes it 90,000 to go.
Glenn, a money manager, former equities trader. Been playing poker for 30 years though, and believes he's the best player at the table, even though he is an amateur.
Into Michael Rocco, the former chip leader. He has king deuce. He's made the call. So let's go to the flop, and it's a jack 5 deuce. Both of them hitting pairs.
Yeah, Glenn's got middle pair. Michael's got bottom pair. Glenn checks, and Michael checks right behind him.
Into the turn card, 8 of clubs, changes nothing. And Glenn gonna bet 105,000. Michael Rocco doesn't believe him. He's gonna pay him off. Makes the call, going to the river. And the river card's another 5, 3 of a kind there for Glenn Lafaye.
Well, Glenn has got 3 5s. loving it. Looks back to make sure he's got him. 150,000 is the bet. Now Michael might think he had some kind of drawn hand on the turn and then missed on the river. May pay him off with the 2 deuces. Wouldn't blame him because his opponent checked the flop. And that's exactly what he's done.
Yep, he's going to make that mistake. He is going to call, and Glenn Lafaye will take this pot.
Can I see him? I turn mine face up. Can I see him?
Glenn says, I want to see the hand.
That's something that's not done very often.
No.
This really aggravates a lot of players, Vince. You lose a pot, and then somebody needles you, wants to see your hand.
But I think it's all been caused because Michael called the clock on the Englishman. So I think this whole table is turning against Michael there a little bit. That is definitely a needle. But let's go on to the next hand. Now it's Glenn has a Jack-10.
He gets rid of this one. Rocco stayed pretty calm, though, when asked to see his hand. Some players would explode in that spot.
Now he's calling with an 8-5 of diamonds. He's splashing around now. Chris going out. Patrick Bruel has made a quick call. He's in the small blind. He's got Jack-6 of diamonds. And now it's on Josh, and he's got Queen-7 of diamonds. And he will say, let's see a flop.
All 3 players have diamonds. Here comes the flop. Incredibly, 2 diamonds come on the flop.
You got to be kidding.
But Patrick has top pair with his flush draw.
And he checks
80,000.
He is looking to check raise, you know that.
Josh is going to take the lead here and bet. He's betting 80,000. Rocco with the 4 flush is going to call.
Well, Patrick with the jacks and the flush draw is going to hit it a lick, that's for sure, and he does. Makes it 275,000 to go. And Josh going to call with his flush draw. Rocco gets out of the pot. Nice exit for him there.
Yeah, it is.
He may have put one of these guys on a bigger flush draw than him and just got out, and wisely so.
Turns a deuce, pairs the board. And the Frenchman, he's an entertainer, he's an actor in France, a very big star.
Well, he sure is a big star. 6 of his albums were #1 in France.
He's betting 575.
Josh opts to get rid of his flush draw.
Show the box. Show the box.
It's on TV. Merci beaucoup.
There you go.
Vive la France.
Well, the Frenchman taking a nice pot, and as you can see, Josh Neufeld looking very disappointed. And right now, he is the short stack at the table. Plus, the price of poker is going up, so he might be looking to make a move soon. The blinds are going up to 25 and 50,000 with a $5,000 ante. Patrick this time looking down at a nothing hand. He'll fold. Josh takes a rest. Glenn Lafaye not playing. Michael Rocco, the former chip leader, spinning out of control a little bit. With King-10, will make this call. And right behind him, Chris Moorman with a nothing hand, 9 deuce.
Oh, Vince, he is just out to get this guy, out to outplay him. And he is going to raise it right here with a 9 deuce offsuit. As we said, these guys have had bad blood at this final table so far. Maybe all the way getting to this final table, who knows? But one thing about it, they like to spar.
165 to go. It's been called, and here we go with the flop. It's a king, 9-3. Kings for Michael Rocco, 9s for Chris Moorman.
Rocco is checked. This could spell trouble for Moorman here. He's flopped middle pair, but his opponent's flopped top pair. And Moorman reaching for betting chips.
Great bridge player, pool player.
135,000 is the bet. Will Rocco check raise? Nope, he just makes the call here.
His king's out in front, going to the turn, 4 of hearts.
A very nonchalant card.
Changes nothing.
Rocco is going to lead out and bet here. We saw him do that earlier at this final table, where he called on the flop and before the flop and then led out on the turn.
315,000.
Well, Chris just not buying it. He thinks the guy would have raised him if he had kings. Feels like he might be just making a play.
Boy, Rocco has him where he wants him. He's making this call. Chris is behind.
Oh, behind no more.
Uh-oh.
He has made 9s and deuces. Oh my gosh, a volcano is going to erupt soon here. And I think he's wearing a hat right now.
Michael Rocco is continuing to bet. 700,000.
He's got to think he's got the best hand.
Did you go for a value raise here or just call, Mike?
Well, the guy could have 3 threes. You don't know what he's got. You just call. He shows kings, and look at this. Moorman slow rolling him. 9s and deuces. And Michael Rocco is not believing what he's seeing. This guy raised it before the flop, called him on the turn, and then hit 2 pair on the river to beat him.
Right on to the next hand. Quick fold by Patrick, and now Josh Neufeld picks up ace-10 of hearts. We'll make it 110,000 to go.
No, that's all right.
A couple folds around to Chris, who has picked up a pair of 10s again.
110.
That was his lucky hand early on when he decimated the chip leader at the time, Michael Rocco.
He flopped 10s full in that hand. It's the only hand he's shown down. It's been a big hand, though. He's raised a lot of pots here. These guys just think he's aggressive. He just showed him a 9-deuce offsuit when he raised before the flop. They just don't put him on a hand.
He's raising with this, Mike. 280 to go, and now Josh has got a decision because he doesn't have that much left.
All in.
And Josh is going to go over the top. He's gone all in. And a pretty quick call by Chris Moorman with the 10s.
You can't really blame Josh. He hadn't seen all the ace-queens and ace-jacks we've seen. He just seen the guy raising about every pot.
Yeah, so right now the Englishman, our chip leader, Chris Moorman, out in front over the young Josh Neufeld from L.A. Everyone on their feet.
Well, Chris about a 2-to-1 favorite to win this pot.
The flop is 9-4-3, 2 diamonds.
9-4-3, 2 diamonds.
Not good for Josh so far.
Well, Josh going to have to catch an ace or a deuce and a 5 to make it straight.
Here goes the turn. What will it be? A 6 of hearts. Not good for Josh.
We are down to the river. Josh Neufeld must catch an ace on the river or he will be our 5th place finisher. Nothing else will do for him.
Josh going for the suck out. Let's take a peek.
The queen. So there you go. No ace on the river. That's going to do it for the 24-year-old Josh Neufeld, out tonight in 5th place.
That's right, Mike. Another one bites the dust. Josh out. Going to take home $264,000. He's over to talk to Matt Savage.
Josh, it's your first WPT cash. How did your experience go tonight?
Tonight was pretty rough. Got in a lot of tough spots, and Moorman has kind of been abusing me all tournament, so I felt I had to reshove there, and it didn't work out, unfortunately.
Do you feel like he's going to finish this?
I definitely think he's the best player at the table, and I think he'll probably take it down.
All right, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Matt.
$264,000?
Yeah.
That'll go a long way towards starting your future.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Back to you, Len.
Chris Moorman well out in front. Chris from England, 8.1 million. Highly respected player. Looking to take down his first live poker championship. And a great spot to do it now with this chip lead.
Okay, and now the money manager, Glenn Lafaye, has an ace-jack. And he is just going to call with the ace-jack, Michael Rocco.
He's got the 4-7 of hearts. He wants to see a flop, so he's going to call. And now around to Chris Moorman. He's in the big blind.
He's in. He's just going to call. And Patrick, content to see the flop.
So we have 4-way action here. A family pot. And here's the flop. King, king, 4.
None of them have a king.
Well, Patrick has got a pair of 4s, as does Rocco.
Chris and Patrick check. Glenn also checking. And Rocco, with the 4s, will make a stab at it. 60,000. Now Chris, with a terrible hand, is going to make this call.
He's just floating here.
Yep.
That means he's got no hand, no draw. He's calling here to try to take the pot away from Rocco on a later street. Let's see if he can do it.
And another king.
3 kings on the board.
And Chris is going to check. Michael's getting nervous, slows down, checking as well. Down to the river we go.
And the deuce comes off. It's a great card for Michael Rocco. And he knows it doesn't help Chris, so Chris knows the only way he can win this pot is to bet at it, but with the texture of this board, Gonna be tough to get the pair of fours out of here, I think.
No, nevertheless, don't tell that to Chris because he is betting.
Well, he knows he has to bet
140
to try to win this pot. Well, Vance, I don't know what Rocco was thinking about here. If the guy's got quad kings, he just got quad kings. He had a pair, you'd have heard from him before. Wow! He lays down a full house, kings full of fours. I am shocked by that, but Moorman takes down that pot, but what an unusual laydown for 140,000 when there's 500,000 in the pot, and the board's 3 kings, a 4, and a deuce.
I think Michael just outsmarted himself, just got in his mind that Chris had a king, lays it down, and he went with his gut, and that time he was incorrect. Action's on Michael again. This time he's got an attractive queen, 9 of diamonds. He will make this call.
Moorman going out here. Patrick Bruel in the small blind. Cost him a half a bet to call. He does so with the king high.
The non-professional Glenn Lafaye is going to raise this with just a 10-7.
Very surprised you would make a min raise there when 2 guys limped in. They're both going to call. You know that. If you make a larger raise, they may get out, or you may just place 1 player, but I think you should take a free flop or make a larger raise here. Let's see what happens. Well, flop comes queen jack 4 with 2 clubs.
Rocco hitting queens. Patrick checks. Lafaye going to continue.
Bets 175,000 here.
He caught none of that flop. Michael, of course, with top pair. Just slowly going to call it. Patrick out. Glenn Lafaye is a investment fund manager.
Deuce comes off on the turn.
And he's going to slow down now. He's going to check. Michael going to check as well.
Well, Michael just didn't want to get check raised here.
7 of diamonds. That gives Lafaye a pair here.
And he's got a hand now. So he's going to check. He doesn't have to bluff at it. And now, after that check, Michael's certain he's got the best hand.
Yeah, he's putting in 300,000.
Vince, if you're sitting in Glenn's seat, you're thinking, this guy didn't bet the flop. Does he really have a queen or a jack? Maybe he made a draw.
Nice hand.
That's a good solid laydown.
Michael Rocco taking down that pot.
By the way, the antes are going up to 10,000. Blinds are 30 and 60. Back on Glenn. Father of 2. And he's going to fold his hand.
And Michael Rocco has 2 deuces on the button.
Getting out raising chips. Yes, he's going to make it 160 to go. And let's take a look at Chris. Has got queens.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful hand.
I think he's raised this guy just about every time he's come in a pot. Sometimes he has a hand, sometimes he doesn't. This time he does. And he's going to make it 420,000 to go.
Patrick frustrated. Can't get in cheap with his ace-3 of clubs. Folds the hand. So back on Michael Rocco. Former chip leader. He's going to call. He's investing. He hopes to get lucky. Here we are.
Most of the chips Rocco's lost have been to Moorman.
Good flop for Chris Moorman with the overpair, but he's going to check it.
And Rocco checks right behind him. Didn't want to fall into any traps, which he would have. Now a 9 comes off. Now Chris is going to reach for chips.
He'd like to have his old rival really pay him off. And right now he's betting 455. He's got to be feeling pretty good, but no more, because look at this Michael Rocco making a play, going to 1.5 million. Incredible.
Well, Chris Moorman, who 3-bet before the flop and then checked on the flop of 10 high, which was a little strange. Now he's going to make the call here.
Yeah, good solid call. Huge pot going to the river. It's an ace of hearts.
Well, neither player going to like to see that card. Fearful the other guy's got an ace in his hand. Moorman going to check.
Now, what do you do if you're Michael? It would take such boldness to continue the larceny.
Wow.
Just check it down and know that you probably beat. When you take a stab at another bluff, this just takes a lot of bravery to stick those chips in. That's exactly what he's going to do.
Wow. And he's put almost all his chips in this pot on a bluff.
2.1 million. This is a very bold bet.
If you're in Moorman's seat, this is a very tough call to make, folks. You're fearful your opponent's made something like ace-9, where he's got aces up now.
It would be the call of the year, but so difficult to make. After manipulated on the turn, and now the river. It's going to work for Michael Rocco. What a move!
He outplayed him there, no doubt about it.
And he is back in a big way.
He gave the nod, the signal. I outplayed this guy.
He is loving it.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
All right, we are back to four-handed poker at the Commerce Casino, and right now Michael Rocco, with close to 6.7 million in chips, is the new chip leader.
And Vince, he's earned that chip lead by stealing that last pot, betting 2.1 million with the two little ducks.
Down to the felt we go. Glenn Lafaye, non-professional, money manager in real life, father of two, has picked up ace-10 of clubs, and he will raise this up. 155 to go.
Right behind him, Michael Rocco looks down at king-6 offsuit. Feeling very good right now. Finally stole a huge pot off Moorman. And feeling so good, he's going to raise it up with this hand. 3-bet it to 450,000.
The Englishman goes away. And Patrick Bruel with a nothing hand, and the short stack can't call that. So back on Glenn.
Yeah, he's going to call the raise and see a flop here.
And here's the flop.
The flop is 9-8-4 with two spades. No help to either player. Action on Glenn, he checks. Will Michael make the continuation bet? It looks like he's going to.
Wow, 300,000 with nothing. Zip and pip. Glenn plays a lot of poker, but has a real job, a family, and now he's under the big lights, and he's going to fold his hand. Can't blame him.
Well, take your hat off to Michael Rocco. He has stolen the last two pots and increases his chip lead.
It's a cutthroat battle going on here tonight in Los Angeles, and there is our chip leader, Michael Rocco. He's back in front.
You're right, Vince. He seemed very rattled earlier at this final table, but now he's regained his composure, stolen the last couple pots, in good shape, but here he's going to limp in with the ace-5 of clubs.
And behind him, his old friend Chris with a king-jack.
Well, when people limp in front of you, you put them on 8-9 suiteds, 10 jacks. If you have a king-jack, you think you have the best hand. Moorman must think it because he's getting out raising chips. And he makes it 180,000 to go.
Yep, Patrick Bruel hoping to see a hand. Let's take a peek at his cards. Nah.
He's just not catching any cards at all, Vince. And Patrick is a guy that loves to be in the action, but right now he's on the outside just watching all the action.
Glenn also with a junk hand, won't play, so back on Michael Rocco.
Rocco gonna call the raise, so here we go to the flop.
You can feel the tension between them, and the flop is a queen, a 5 deuce.
So Rocco's flop middle pair has the best hand with the 2 5s. He's gonna check.
Chris raised before the flop, and he looks like he's going to make a continuation bet. Yes, he is. 180.
Rocco with middle pair, top kicker, and a backdoor flush draw. As well as a backdoor wheel draw. He's going to make the call. Give him credit.
We're going to the turn.
Well, the 7 of spade comes off, so a possible flush out there now. Neither player has a spade in their hand. Rocco is checking. Will Moorman continue to fire with nothing? Well, he is reaching for chips.
Yep, he's going to bet 440,000 with nothing.
It's getting tougher and tougher to call with 2 5s. I can tell you that. You have to put your opponent on a complete steal to call here. And Rocco just doesn't want to give him any more chips with this marginal hand. He gets rid of it, but give Moorman credit. He fired a couple shells with nothing there. Took down that pot. Vince, that's 3 or 4 hands in a row that players at this table have won with the worst hands by betting.
Everyone enjoying the moment here tonight. And right now, Chris Moorman with a suited connector. He's going to raise to 135. Patrick going out. Glenn Lafaye now. Next to act. Glenn can't play that. And now our chip leader, Michael Rocco. He's got a queen 9. And of course he will call with that hand.
And you just feel how bad these guys want to beat each other, Vince. They are fighting for every pot, stealing pots from each other.
Look at this flop, 10-6-5, 2 pair for Moorman.
An incredible flop for him. But unfortunately for him, Michael didn't hit anything.
Yeah. Rocco's going to check. Well, you play with those little suited connectors. They can do damage when they hit. Disguised hands. And he will bet this 140 back on Michael Rocco, the 24-year-old who has played incredibly aggressively tonight. And what is he up to? Oh, no. Oh,
wow.
No. He's going to repop.
He is check raised with nothing here, Vince. 925,000. This is not going to be the time to make a move when his opponent has flopped 2 pair.
Chris Moorman.
Vince, with a possible straight and possible flush draw out there, I would just raise right back right now if I was Moorman. But I'm not Moorman. He just calls.
Yes,
he does not raise here with 2 pair.
Gigantic pop between the 2 chip leaders. We're going to the turn, and it's a 9
of clubs comes off.
3 clubs out there now.
Well, not the card that Moorman wanted to see, that's for sure.
Rocco, not even hesitating. Looks like he's getting chips out to bet.
Well, he's made 2 9s on the turn, and he is going to fire again.
1.7.
He is just trying to make a statement here to this guy. I am going to fire and see how you like it. And I can tell you that's the last card Moorman wanted to see.
Moorman is going to fold the hand. He's going to fold the 2 pair.
Well, if Rocco had a 7-8, he made a straight. If he had clubs, he made a flush. Moorman just afraid that the guy was on a draw and made a hand. Jettisoned his 2 pair, but wow. Well, Vince, one thing's for sure, Michael Rocco exudes confidence.
And now Chris Moorman, the Englishman, top online poker player in the world. He's got Jack Deuce.
Gonna raise on the button here. 135,000 to go.
Patrick out. Now Glenn Lafaye, the money manager. He's got a Jack Queen. Well, he is going to make this call.
Well, he did well with the Queen 10 a minute ago when he doubled up. That's how he does with the Queen Jack.
And the flop is a Queen 7-4.
Yeah, Chris has a flush draw. Glenn has top pair. He's got the 2 queens. He checks.
Yeah, the man with the 4 flush, the raise before the flop, will make this continuation bet. Looks like 135.
I think Glenn wants to find out where he's at. He is going to raise it to 330,000. Now, will Moorman just call or raise back with the flush draw? He's just going to call.
Yep, Moorman hoping to catch a heart.
So Glenn knows he's got something, doesn't know what.
Not a heart, 5 of diamonds. Glenn's going to check again.
And a check raised on the flop, but once Moorman called him, he's going to slow down a little bit.
Bet is 450,000. A quick call by Glenn Lafaye.
So we're going to the river. Well, a 6 of spade comes off, so a 4-card straight on the board. And Glenn checks yet again.
Chris has none of that.
Well, Moorman knows the only possibility he has to win this pot is to bet at it.
Oh, he is going to bet. It's 730,000.
He's going to give himself a chance to win it anyway.
Scary board to make a call on. I feel like I have you here. You could be in the stratosphere right now, for all I know.
And he calls.
Got it.
Yes.
Luck, right?
And that's going to send him into space a little bit.
Thank you.
The blinds are going up to 40 and 80,000. And the action's on the Frenchman, Patrick, and he looks down at a little pair of fours.
How much is it?
And he is just going to call with the fours, hoping to get lucky. Now, Glenn out. Michael not playing. And the Englishman, Chris Moorman, has picked up ace-king.
And monster hand by Chris.
Oh, and he's going to raise it to 280. And all in by Patrick. Now the money's in. An insta-call, of course, by Chris.
Well, we've got the race situation. Patrick Bruel with the pair. Moorman with the overcards. Patrick must win this pot to stay alive in this tournament.
That is right. Patrick smiling, the crowd on its feet. Big moment for the Frenchman.
Will the singer stay in tune and stay alive? Let's see.
Here come the first three cards. And it's a Jack 9-3. That is good for Patrick.
2-4 still out in front.
Nothing hitting for Chris on that flop.
Patrick loves poker, loves the competition. A 4 comes off. Patrick jumps up.
Spades. Oh, no. Please.
But no, he says. He realizes his opponent has a flush draw. Must be a spade. That's not the Jack or 3 of spades. But Moorman still has outs to win the pot. For a brief instant, Patrick thought this hand was over, where he doubled up. Not the case just yet.
Jack of spades is good.
Can Patrick make it happen? Yes, he does. There's a 5 of hearts hit on the river. No help for Chris. Patrick Bruel gonna take this pot.
Stay alive.
Patrick Bruel doubles up. We still have 4 left. Oh, and look, Vince, he's now leading the crowd in song.
He is having a great time. He's a great entertainer. He's back in action. 4 players battle for that over $1 million first place prize. What a phenomenal tournament.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
At Commerce Casino, poker stardom is on the line and over $1 million awaits our champion in the thrilling conclusion of the LA Poker Classic tonight on the WPT.
There you see Michael Rocco out in front with $5.9 million. Glenn Lafaye in second place with $4.4. Patrick Bruel with $2.9 in third, and Chris Moorman on the bottom in fourth place.
Winner going to take home over $1 million. Antes are 10,000, blinds 40 and 80,000. Action on Chris Moorman, the top online poker player in the world. He folds his hand. Patrick Bruel with an ace-10.
Patrick, a legendary singer-actor in France.
And he will raise this to 175,000. The family man, Glenn, from Connecticut going out. The chip leader, Michael Rocco, the local 24-year-old. He's got ace-jack.
Patrick Bruel lowering the sunglasses here.
Michael Rocco got this tournament through a $225 satellite. Now, he's just going to call. So we have ace-jack up against ace-10. Look at this flop for Patrick. Ace-10-3. He has aces and tens.
Well, Patrick Bruel has flopped the top 2 pair. Great flop for him.
Michael checks.
Oh, and Patrick checks right behind him, trying to lure him into a bet here on the turn. And a 10 comes off. Patrick has made 10s full of aces, and his opponent is betting. A dream situation.
300,000 bet into Patrick, and he, a little discouraged look. He calls it. Gonna try to sucker his man. A king on the river. Let's see if young Michael will keep betting. Yes, he does.
Oh, and a nice blocking bet, Vince. There's over $1 million in the pot. He bet $225,000. So it's sort of a defensive bet, hoping your opponent calls you but doesn't raise you. But Patrick has raised it to $825,000.
And now Michael Rocco with a problem.
I guess you have 2 kings? You have pocket king? Pocket king?
Not even close.
No parlay anglais, monsieur. Only when I want to. Oh, Vince, I'll tell you the truth. I love that bet by Rocco on the river there. $225,000 into a pot that had $1 million in it. Because he can now get away from that hand with a good laydown, and that's what he did. So Patrick trying to think, geez, wish now I'd have bet on the flop. I might have made a lot more money.
And he's going up to 15,000. Blinds are now 50 and 100. Action on Patrick with a quick fold.
Yeah, but 5 years Patrick's been doing our job in France.
Glenn Lafaye now, the money manager out of Connecticut. He has king 10 of diamonds. He's raising to 230. Into the chip leader, Michael Rocco, who looks down at a jack 10.
Wow, look at this, Vince. He is going to 3-bet here with the jack 10 out of the small blind.
Re-raise. Chris going out, so back on Lafaye. Father of 2. A non-professional player is going to make this call. So king 10 versus jack 10. Big pot happening here, and it's a jack 3 deuce. Jacks for Rocco.
Well, essentially the only card Rocco could hit to take the lead, and does so.
Well, he'll bet 175.
Glenn is going to make the call here with no hand and no draw.
Yeah, he's going to splash around here, hoping to get lucky, and he does get lucky. A king hits, he hits kings.
That is incredible.
How did he know?
Well, he was floating to try to take the pot away on a later street, and now he might be able to do it with the best hand. Doesn't have to bluff his way.
Rocco bets 250. Oh, wow. Glenn's gonna reload it. 875 to go.
Well, Rocco must think he's making a move here, because he's making this call with just 2 jacks.
Yeah, he's going deep.
Now, you haven't seen Lafaye bluff, so why would you think this guy's bluffing here?
Down to the river card. It's a 4 of hearts.
Well, 3 hearts on the board, possible straight, possible flush.
Michael Rocco gonna check.
I'm on.
All in.
Wow, Glenn has gone all in here with just 2 kings.
A giant bet.
What do you think I should do?
Rocco asking his opponent what to do. Glenn would say call. He knew he had 2 jacks.
But a very tough call. Most players are going to lay this down, but no, he's going to call this and pay it off. I'm shocked.
For a pair of kings.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what I'm more shocked by, the all-in bet by Glenn there with just 2 kings, or the call with the 2 jacks.
Ooh, if I knew my king was good, I wouldn't have bet so much.
And with that hand now, Glenn Lafaye is the chip leader.
And Patrick Bruel in second place. What a reversal of fortunes here. These 2 guys sitting at the bottom for a long time. The other 2 guys way on top, and now they're in 3rd and 4th place.
All right, back down to the felt. Action on Michael Rocco, and he's got to be stunned. He's going to just rest his hand with Queen 9. And now Chris Moorman only has a 6-3 of hearts, but he's got the button, and he'll raise it to 215,000. Patrick Bruel with an ace-8 makes this call. Glenn going to take a rest after that huge last pot he won.
Well, Queen 9-6 comes off.
Rocco would have flopped 2 pair.
Patrick checks, as does Chris. Oh, a queen on the turn.
And Michael Rocco probably not happy since he would have hit a full house had he played. And now Patrick's going to check again.
Now Chris now going to lead out in bet, thinks the sixes are good, which in fact they are.
Yep, 175 into Patrick. Patrick going to splash around here.
His opponent didn't bet on the flop, so Patrick didn't think he is a pair. Now maybe just think he's making a move. Going to call him with ace high. Now a 10 comes off. Patrick is now going to lead out and bet 450,000. Now Moorman trying to put all these pieces together. Say, what is going on? Guy didn't bet the flop. Didn't raise me on the turn. All of a sudden he's going to lead out when a 10 hits. Would he really call with a king jack? Or a 7-8?
Whoa,
Moorman is going to pay him off with 2 sixes and win this pot. And Patrick is going to be shocked when he sees he got paid off by 2 sixes. Folks, that shows you why Moorman is one of the best players in the world. He reads players fantastically.
You ain't going to see that in your home game. And there's Maria Ho, fantastic player herself, enjoying the moment tonight. What poker we're seeing as 4 players battle. Back on Patrick.
Patrick, you're going to discover, like me and Vance, it's easier in the booth, my friend.
A couple folds around to Michael, the former chip leader, and he has picked up the big hand, though. Yes, he's got aces. Nice time to get him.
He is limping in the small blind, knowing every time he's done that, Moorman has raised him so far tonight, but not this time. This time, Moorman says, let's have a flop.
Moorman's got a terrible hand, 10-3. And the flop is a king-3 deuce, so Chris gets a piece of that.
Well, action's on Rocco. He's going to lead out with the 2 aces. He bets 115,000. Chris Moorman just not buying. He's got a king in his hand because he didn't raise before the flop. Never would put him on 2 aces or a pair because he didn't raise either. He makes it 265 to go with the 2 threes.
And now Rocco in a good place. He is going to raise this up to 450,000. This is the battle these guys have been waiting for.
Well, all that limping in that Rocco did earlier at this final table might pay off for him right here. There's Chris Moorman. Oh, he's going to set him all in.
Yes.
And Rocco is going to call. So Rocco could easily double up here. He's got 2 aces. He's up against 2 threes.
Well, Rocco played it brilliantly. Played it slow. It's paid off in a huge way. He's well out in front.
Vince, as they say in England sometimes, they get in a pissing contest. That's what happened there, I think, with Moorman.
Here comes the turn card. It's an 8 of spades. So that doesn't help Chris Moorman.
Now, Chris Moorman needs a 3 or a 10 to win this pot. This would be a horrible beat for Michael Rocco to go out with 2 aces. All he's got to do is dodge a 10 or a 3 to double up.
And here is the magical river card. It's a 4 of diamonds.
Well, just like that, Rocco comes out of the cellar from 4th place and bolts into a strong 2nd chip position.
The Englishman has to pay him off. The bitter rivalry continues, but this time the edge going to Michael Rocco. Back in big contention, the 24-year-old, first time ever at a final table. We have 4 players going after this championship. Stay with us here on the World Poker Tour.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
On Patrick Bruel, and he will throw that hand away. And now the chip leader Glenn looks down at a 9-10 offsuit.
Well, all of a sudden he gets the chip lead, and He's going to get spiffy here with a 10-9 offsuit. Bets 230,000.
Yeah, he has raised. Michael Rocco, former chip leader, now in second chip positions, got the pair of fours.
A lot of players like to re-raise with small pairs.
He will stick around and call. Chris going out. So 9-10 versus a pair of fours.
Yeah, flop comes ace, 8-7.
Open-ended straight for Glenn.
Well, Michael's going to check. Glenn going to bet the open-ended straight, make the continuation bet. Hope his opponent goes away.
Yeah, 355,000. But Michael is not going away. He is going to make this call.
Man, I'm sort of baffled by this.
Me too. Going to the turn, and Glenn gets lucky. He hits a straight.
Makes the best hand possible on the turn. Michael's going to act like he hit the straight, and he's going to lead out and bet 650,000.
Glenn Lafaye, what a position you're in.
I'm all in.
And now he says all in.
Man, that's a huge overbet there.
Yeah, it doesn't want to get outdrawn perhaps on the end, but...
All right, Michael, the gig's up. You can throw the fours away.
Glenn Lafaye taking that pot down. He is playing great for all the non-professionals out there. This is how you do it. All right, play goes to Michael Rocco. He goes out, and now Chris Moorman has picked up a nice hand. Ace, jack of clubs.
28-year-old pro out of England. Also the most successful online tournament player in the world.
He's raised to 215. Patrick right behind him with king 8 of clubs will make this call, Mike. And now Glenn also going to stick around with an ace 3.
So three-way action here. And flop comes jack, 8 deuce. Patrick's got middle pair. He's going to check.
And Glenn also checking. But Chris hit top pair with the ace kicker.
And he's going to bet.
Raised before the flop. And he will continue to bet 265. And now Patrick.
All in.
He is going all in.
Wow, he's gone tappy here.
Glenn folds. And Chris is going to make the call.
Well, Patrick Bruel's going to need some help here. Otherwise, the Frenchman heading back across the ocean in 4th place.
Well, Patrick looking disgusted. But he could still get lucky. Here we go. It's a 9 of clubs.
Well, the club won't even help him.
No.
Because Chris will have a bigger flush. The club comes off.
Down to the river. Can Patrick get lucky here?
It's a queen. So that's going to do it.
It was a pleasure playing with you.
Au revoir to the Frenchman, Patrick Bruel, out in 4th place. Vince, he put up a good battle, stayed patient a long time. Finally ends up going out in 4th place tonight.
He's always entertaining to watch. He will take home $332,000. What a player. But it's back to the river Seine for him. But first, he's going to talk to Matt Savage.
Patrick, a great event here for you. I mean, you had to have a great week.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It was really a fantastic experience. A bit disappointed because I didn't play my best poker. I think I played much better yesterday and the day before. And today, maybe because of pressure of the final, maybe the camera, maybe everything, maybe I don't know. But I'm not very happy with myself. I didn't have the situations and the cards.
Action on. Le Brit, Chris Moorman. Top online poker player in the world. He's got Queen Jack, makes it 250 to go.
Chris Moorman is truly one of the most respected players in the world, no doubt about it.
And Glenn Lafaye is not going anywhere. He's got ace 7. He's making this call. Michael Rocco.
Well, he's going to call with the Queen 7 because there's so much money in the pot.
Three-way action. Game is heating up, and the flop is a 3-3 king.
Well, no help to anybody. See how this plays out.
Glenn checks.
Rocco He's going to lead out and bet this pot.
150.
Very suspicious betting into a pre-flop razor here.
Yeah, but Chris is going to go out.
Well, Lafaye is just not buying it. He said, you know, even if the guy flopped a king, he's going to check raise on the flop because Moorman's going to make a continuation bet with that flop.
He's called it and a 5 of hearts on the turn.
Check.
Doesn't change anything. Glenn checking again.
And Rocco betting again, this time 325,000.
Cool.
And Glenn Lafaye has got his radar up, Vince.
Yeah.
He has just picked him off like a cherry on a tree so far here. He just believes his ace high is the best hand, and it is.
And the 8 of diamonds on the river, that doesn't change anything. Glenn gonna check again. Can this guy strike 3 times, and will it work if he does? He is betting 3 times, 350 this time.
Put you on a hand, and I can beat that hand.
It's like a beg me call bet there. It's a very small bet. Pot's got over 1.7 million in it. He only bet 350 here on a bluff.
This would be a heck
Well,
of a
Glenn
call.
has made the call with the
Beautiful
ace
call.
high and going to take down this pot.
Oh, be proud, Glenn.
Wow, called him on the flop, the turn, and the river with just ace high. That is playing the game.
Oh, man, who is the pro at this game? Glenn Lafaye, you're looking good. Strong play by a man with just ace high. Glenn Lafaye. That shut Michael Rocco up. Action's on Glenn. He picks up pocket deuces. Originally from Long Island, now living in Connecticut. He's going to raise with it. Goes to 250.
Rocco going out, and Moorman picking up 2 kings. These are the 2 chip leaders. You just feel certain Chris is going to raise with kings here. Why wouldn't you?
What a great time to get a gigantic pair. And he will raise, of course, to 620 against the chip leader. That is Glenn.
Well, Glenn going to make the call. You always like to see flops with small pairs and hope you flop a set. And when you have a small pair, you hope your opponent's got a big pair just like he does. And wow, a deuce comes on the flop. 3 deuces for Glenn Lafaye. This could be adios for Chris Moorman. No way he's going to get away from 2 kings here with this kind of flop. 9-7 deuce rainbow.
What a flop for Glenn. And he's got his man betting into him.
Well, Chris bets 515,000.
Good poker face by the family man from Connecticut.
A raise.
Trying to hide his excitement, and he says raise.
And right now he is praying that Moorman has a big pair so he can get all his chips.
800,000 more.
Well, let's see how Moorman's going to play the kings. Most guys would just ship them in right now. But Moorman is not most guys. He just calls.
Yep.
So we are going to the turn, but Chris Moorman in dire straits here, up against the chip leader. And a queen comes off. Now Chris is going to check.
Check.
Wow. Glenn checks right behind him here.
Okay.
And now the board pairs queens. Well, Moorman is going to bet the kings. And my guess is he's going to get raised for all his chips. Moorman obviously thinks the 2 kings are the best hand here. Why wouldn't you think that? The way this hand's been played.
Oh, man. Chris Moorman's got to bet. He's betting 1.3 million.
Well, Glenn Lafaye. He acts worried here, Vince.
You could definitely have a set. 7s or 9s, deuces.
Oh, boy. He's talking himself out of this.
Why I'm taking so long with this, I'm sorry. But just getting a bad vibe.
He's got deuces full. You got to come back over the top.
It's impossible not to raise and bust Chris Moorman here.
He will get his money, that's for sure.
Just heads up, this would be a... You show?
Glenn is taking his time.
Well, this is unbelievable. I'm in total shock if he doesn't raise this.
Oh,
He
no.
just called.
Oh, no.
Chris turns up the kings like he's going to win the pot. He can't believe that the man has a full house and didn't raise it.
Major mistake there by our chip leader, Glenn.
Well, if he doesn't win this tournament, Vince, he'll look back at this hand right here and say, you know, I had a chance to bust him on that hand, and I didn't do it. Shame on me.
If it's heads up, it's a different story. You're out then, heads up.
Well, Glenn's a baseball player, I know that, but in my mind, he made a big error on that play.
But a big hand there for Glenn, nevertheless. 3 players remain, and Glenn is a big chip leader, over 11 million. He's got the button, he's got momentum. Let's take a look at his cards. Oh, he's got a pretty attractive queen, jack of diamonds. Lines are 60 and 120 at this point.
He's going to raise here, makes it 325,000 to go.
Right behind him, Michael on the short stack with an ace-8.
All in.
He's going all in with the ace-8.
Action over to Chris Moorman. He looks down at 2 10s.
He's had this hand about 3 times tonight.
All in.
And he's going all in.
Is he all in too?
Wow.
Chris Moorman has announced all in.
I call.
Glenn has made the call with the queen jack of diamonds. Knows if he wins this pot, he'll be our champion.
Showed the ace-8.
Let's go, baby. Let's end it. Let's end it.
He is just risking it all right here.
All in. Glenn has both players covered.
He understands that even if he loses this pot, he'll have a nice chip lead. Playing heads up in case one of them win it.
Everyone on their feet. Here we go with the flop, and it's a jack, king, queen.
Wow, a queen and a jack on the flop.
He's out in front.
But both players have got a straight draw, Vince.
Deuce, deuce. Deuce, deuce. Deuce, deuce.
Michael Rocco needs a 10. Wow, stunning development here. It was a Picasso flop, all paint.
Glenn's out in front though, Mike.
Glenn can win this tournament.
Here we go.
The turn card is
A 3. Now, because Chris Moorman started this hand with more chips than Michael Rocco, he will finish in 2nd place if Glenn wins.
That's a big if. Glenn has still got to sweat cards. We're going down to the river.
Well,
the
the
most
average
exciting
is
hand we've seen this year.
Unbelievable.
It's an ace!
Wow! Unbelievable! Can you believe that? An ace on the river for the ace-high straight for Chris Moorman. Wow! Who can believe that? Michael Rocco's out in 3rd place. We are playing heads up for the title.
Oh!
The miracle drawn
What a
out by
card!
Chris Moorman on the river. The crowd stunned, Vince.
With Mike Rocco, an amazing week, 3rd place finish. Take us through the emotions of the week.
I've been as calm as I've ever been, and I thought I was gonna win the whole week, but came up a little short, but I feel pretty good right now.
Mike, it seemed like there was a lot of tension there at the table, even yesterday, you know, some battles that you may have had. Is that just poker, or was it personal?
It's just poker.
Here we go.
300.
How good is Moorman running right now? Picking up 2 queens right here on the first hand of heads-up play.
Pretty amazing. He's going to raise to 300. Glenn with just a 9-6 will stick around, makes the call.
He's going to defend, but he better hit a lot.
And the flop is a 10-6-4.
Well, he hit middle pair. That might get him in trouble, though.
Yep, he has 6s. He checks into Chris. Chris is going to get out the chips again. Yeah, 250.
And as a player, you know the guy's going to make a continuation bet with that flop no matter what he's got. What do you do with middle pair here?
I call.
Well, you call if you're Glenn. That's what he's doing.
Going to the turn. It's a 7 of clubs.
And this gives Glenn a straight draw, as well as his pair.
Oh, he's going to come out to bet.
He leads out and bets 650,000. And a quick call by Moorman. And Glenn has taken notice of that, I can assure you. Now a jack comes off, 3 clubs out there.
Glenn didn't hit, he checks.
Moorman now going to bet to 1 pair, even though the possible straight and flush is out there. 975,000. And Glenn wisely gives it up, and Moorman extends his chip lead. So Chris Moorman looks down at ace-9. And he just limps in on the button with ace-high. A little peculiar.
Glenn Lafaye, though, with a king-jack, says, if you're limping, I'm going to raise. He's moved it up to 600,000 to go.
And Chris just calls. Does not raise with the ace-high.
Unorthodox, and the flop is a king, 8-5, so kings for Glenn.
Well, Glenn is loving this. He is flop top pair here. And he is going to bet 450,000.
Nothing hitting there for Chris, but
wow.
He's
I
sticking
understand.
around.
Well, you don't raise before the flop with the ace-high, and now you just get stubborn and want to keep playing.
6 of hearts on the turn.
Well, again, Glenn bets, this time 1.1 million. Now, Chris does have a gut shot straight draw. And the ace. Wow, he is making this call. So he is doing some gambling right now.
Yup, going into deep investment here. River card, a 4, not going to help Chris.
Well, Glenn checks the 2 kings. Chris Moorman, who's just had an ace-high all along in this hand, apparently is now going to try to represent that he made a straight on the river here. And 2.7 million is the bet.
Oh, gonna try to steal this against Glenn.
Well, all of a sudden your 2 kings shrink up. Remember, the guy called you on the flop, he called you on the turn.
King 7 of hearts makes sense. Doesn't do me any good. Should I take another stab at it after the last time I called it?
Glenn in a quandary right now. What to do? You got top pair,
nice hand.
But the pressure's too much. He's going to fold the hand.
Well, that was a nice size bet on the river.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today in the description below and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
The battle continues here, and the blinds are going up to 1 and 200. Action on Chris Moorman.
Now Chris with a 6-1 chip lead right now.
And he's going to make it, wow, 400 with just a jack 6.
I'm all in.
All in?
Wait, hold your seat, because Glenn has gone all in with an 8-6. And Chris will muck the hand. Glenn on kamikaze mode with just an 8-6.
Well, bold play by Glenn, but he's down 6-1 in chip count. Feel like he's got to make something happen. He did it there.
All right, Glenn, this time picking up a nice hand, though. Ace, queen of spades. And he's going to limp in, just calling, hoping to get a raise by Chris.
How much you playing? 1.8 million.
Chris has got just a queen 5.
I'm all in.
Call. Yep, Glenn set him up, and it's going to work.
Well, Glenn did right there by limping in. He got Chris to move all in, has him dominated now. It's ace-queen versus queen 5. So Chris Moorman is going to have to get very lucky to win this pot. A great opportunity for Glenn Lafaye to double up.
Absolutely.
Kind of broke anyway.
A queen 7-4. Glenn Lafaye looking pretty. hitting top pair.
Well, Chris is going to have to catch a 5 or 2 runners to make a flush or a straight. Otherwise, Glenn Lafaye is going to double up. Well, an 8 comes off. Possible straight out there. Chris can now catch a 5 or a 6 to win this pot.
Win the pot and win the tournament. It would be over. The Englishman would be $1 million richer, but not to be. 10 of hearts on the river.
Glenn Lafaye doubles up to tighten up this match.
Let's go to the Feltz Glen now with just a 4-5. And he will limp in. And now Chris has picked up the weapons of mass destruction, the pair of aces.
Notice how calm he stays with 2 aces. But he's going to raise it here. Makes it $600,000 to go.
Good call.
And Glenn is going to look at a flop.
Glenn needs to get lucky. He's up against a giant hand, and the flop is a 6-7 jack. That gives an open-ended straight draw to Glenn.
Yeah, that could spell possible trouble because Chris is going nowhere with these aces. I don't care what the guy bets.
Well, Chris is going to bet 525.
I'm all in.
All in, all in.
And now Glenn is going to pop it over the top,
And
all
it
in.
does go all in. The snap call by Moorman. And so Glenn Lafaye is going to have to get lucky to stay alive in this tournament. Needs a 3 or an 8 to make a straight. 2 running cards of a combination of a 5 or a 4 would do it for him as well, but he needs help, and he needs it now.
You get a 2-outer, I'm just asking for an 8-outer.
This could be it, Mike. What an event we've seen so far. Going to the turn.
Well, everybody on their feet. Will the Bullets stand up?
So far, so good. The ace is out in front still.
Chris Moorman has got to dodge a 3 or an 8 on the river. If so, he'll be the LAPC champion. It'll be his first live poker championship that he's ever won. He wants it badly.
It's coming down to the last card.
One time.
It's a foul. There it is.
5 of diamonds.
Chris Moorman has done it, man. He has taken this title, and as you can see, he is very thankful.
And right now, our second place finisher, Glenn Lafaye, over to talk to Matt Savage.
Glenn, a great run here at the LAPC, but a little bit short. What emotions are you feeling right now?
I'm going to be very happy in the morning, but I came here to win, as I've been saying all week. And I'm disappointed. Wasn't thrilled with my heads-up play. The other moves, as far as the deuces and the queen-jack, I would call that queen-jack every day of the week because the situation is I win the tournament.
All right, well, people are going to look at this again and say you did play great and a great week, and you lost to another great player.
Yeah, he's a great player. I played with him for a couple days now, and I enjoyed playing with him.
All right.
Great tournament.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Mike, over to you.
One more time. Chris Moorman, our champion. Lynn, back to you.